got me all going now.
Stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Access Vegas. Just want
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus.
Another sexual tyrannosaurus. Just to let you guys know, because of the president's non-tariff on cell phones and electronics, there will be no tariff on this show. You guys can send super chats all day, and there won't be any. Extra
only on your channel. Too.
Only on my channel. Yeah. That's pretty wild. All right, guys, we're happy to have everybody here. Thank you. I don't have the what is it called? The Saratoga water. I think it's
the $50 water
the
we had last
water.
week.
We only had one of
my
those.
birthday water.
Yeah, it was incredible. It tasted like water. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Your birthday was a lot of fun.
That was a great show and a great time for
random,
3 whole days.
We had random Instagram influencer come and
yes, I was totally taken by surprise. Yes, that random influencer that just happened to show up.
We had Babes in Toyland. We did one for Hounds for Heroes. We did Cowboys. Babes in Toyland Goes Country. That was a really, really awesome event. What's coming up this weekend, for those of you who are interested, we're hosting the Bunny Ball in San Diego, California. I believe it's Town and
Country Resort.
Town and Country Resort, and we're collecting stuffed animals for all the orphanages and the hospitals in San Diego. So if you guys want to come to that, it's going to be on the 19th.
This Saturday.
This Saturday, and then that morning, as we stay up all night partying, then we can go to church for Easter.
Yes, I know.
That's what
I didn't realize it was Easter on that same weekend.
I didn't realize too. I was like, I'm literally flying home on Easter. And then on the May 17th will be Babes in Toyland at the SLS
White Party
South Beach. It's going to be an all white party. I'm brown, but they've given me an exemption. They're going to allow me to go to the white party. So it's going to be an exciting time. So let's go ahead and introduce our guests for today. We got a lot of new guests for the first time here. She is from Georgia. She's an adult cinematographer. Guys, for any of you who have ever wondered on Brazzers, like who's holding the camera, she's one of them. This is Coco. Welcome, Coco.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have Coco here.
It's an honor to be here.
She's from Virginia Beach. She's a dental assistant and she's a dancer. It's Morgan. How you doing, Morgan?
Good, how are you?
Incredible. And then he is from Salt Lake. He's a drummer in Rolo's band. He's probably stolen your girl. This is Jake.
Several times.
Jake Coe. He will drum your girl to sleep. That's right. She's a server at CH3. She is from Las Vegas. Returning once again, it is Lolo. Welcome.
Happy to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lolo's here. Awesome.
Hey.
She's from Stockton, California. She's a bartender at Jewel. Welcome back again, West. Good to have you again, West.
Hello.
Awesome. And he is a personal trainer from Venezuela. Please welcome for the first time, Mr. Alvaro Pena. How you doing, Alvaro?
Powerhouse Gym.
Everything good.
Okay, nice. And then she is an investor at the Peppermint Hippo, and she's a rapper. It is Crystal Bex. How you doing, Bex?
I'm so excited to be here.
Finally got Bex on the show. Trying forever. And then also she is from Hawaii. She's a stripper and a stay-at-home mom. Please welcome Kitty. Unbelievable. All right, cool. If we don't have anything else, you have any videos we want to get to?
We'll get to some videos here. Just guys, to let you know that, I didn't expect to have you on the show. I did expect to have you on the show. I'm so glad. I just want to say thank you guys for both showing up for this one. It was really good. Let's get down to it, shall we? Do you have a preference? Anyone?
Actually, the Lana Rhodes one would be great.
Oh God. Okay.
I think you want to do it by name.
Yeah.
And then hit L.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
Okay. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes. Fools learn from their own. I was very much a fool in most of my decisions.
Even with all the success that you've had, you're an incredible mother now, businesswoman, you're working with Playboy, you still look back on that and you still feel ashamed?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that people can see me naked on the internet or can see those things happening to me. I think that it's gross.
That is crazy that you can build this whole life and you still feel ashamed.
I mean, I'm proud of myself and what I've done, and I wouldn't take anything back. However, it's not like I like the idea that people can view that of me. I personally, those videos make me want to throw up.
Awesome. Everybody know who Lana Rhodes is? Anyone here not know who Lana Rhodes is? She's one of the biggest porn stars in the world. She got out, and her, Mia Khalifa, and there's a few others. They do basically
Riley.
the shame stuff. Where it was like, I can't believe I was taken advantage of in porn. And while they're doing it, they maintain their porn name, do porn podcasts, and have an OnlyFans while at the same time blaming the porn companies. So I'm just curious if you, actually, Coco, I'm curious, what do you think about this?
I think she probably got with a guy that rearranged her thought process, and she was influenced by that. And in my opinion,
when she did porn, or when she went
afterwards.
Afterwards,
like her making that video.
Because I mean, you might be able to make the statement that maybe someone convinced her to do it, and that she feels, because that's what Mia Khalifa's story is, that she was basically trafficked, that she had a boyfriend who was incredibly toxic, who did a bunch of stuff to her, and that's why she ended up doing. And I think she only filmed for like 8 months, and she became by far the biggest adult star in the entire world.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but thank God for him. She would have never been anybody if it wasn't for him. So that's my opinion.
Anybody else have any feelings about that?
Mia Khalifa's still on OnlyFans, isn't she?
Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
She's like the number 4 earning.
It's so fucked up to say, but like,
You
girls
just
wanna
never
be a
know what
star.
someone's doing for attention and for clout, or if they really mean it these days.
Yeah.
You just don't know, especially with a lot of those girls.
I just wonder if
And I'm one of those girls.
Lana had started doing OF, like when she was at the same age, like let's say she was younger and she started doing OF, and she made $20 million a year. I wonder if she'd be saying the same thing. You know, that's the only thing. My issue is with the situation is this: if she didn't, especially with Mia Khalifa will say crazy stuff, and she will stay it under the name Mia Khalifa, and then sit there and say, which, by the way, that might actually be a real name. I'm not sure, but in some,
definitely not.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, you're right. It's probably not. But the thing is, they're going to continue to use the porn name and then sit there and say that was the problem. And then she's like, all these accomplishments I had, but I wish this other thing went away. And I was like, well, that's why. I remember when Mia Khalifa went on Call Her Daddy, and I was listening to this thing, and she was going off on this, and I'm like, you understand, Alex Cooper would never be speaking to you had you not done that in the first place. You know, so it's just kind of an interesting conundrum. Anybody else?
I think that a lot of agencies kind of take advantage of making people do porn as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I remember when I started doing OnlyFans and I reached out to agencies.
Yeah.
They were trying to make me do things that I wasn't comfortable with, and I think that it's something that women need to like be eased into. And I think they push it so fast at first that it makes them feel ashamed later on, when if they had come to the idea themselves, it wouldn't bring as much shame to them.
It's interesting, yeah. That's a really good point. I know a lot of girls are very much not ashamed of doing it at all. They're very much very happy with it. And then I see some of these girls, they don't seem. I think what happens, to what you were saying before, I can't remember which one of you was saying this. I think what happens is later on they try to have a normal relationship. But was it Alexis Fox who said this to us?
Yeah.
Something to the effect of, I was dating this guy for the future, and he was dating his favorite porn star. Does that make sense? Like he was still dating, like in his mind, he's dating his favorite porn star, and she's dating for a husband. And so, and she would always be disappointed. I don't remember. I think it was Alexis who said this, but it was one of these situations where, like, now going down the line, they want the world to see them the way they want to be seen, and not how, doing porn.
There seems to be this like real trend, I think, amongst like retiring. Let's just say, I'm trying to look for the right word. Retiring porn stars right now, and it's like these are women who have a lot of money. I mean, from what, decades, in some cases decades, and if you're going to get out of porn, you get it. I don't care what your reasons are. Fine, get out of porn. That's fine. But the thing is like every single one of them feels compelled to go on Matt Walsh's show, or to go on like somebody's, some trad femme females, traditional conservative females podcast, or some news show or something like that, and just like get so self-righteous about the whole thing. And I'm just like, if you're out of it, why don't you just be out of it, right? But the thing is that that's not enough. It's still, they still want that affirmation that they were getting back when they were still in it. And I think some part of them probably still misses that industry.
Well, to be completely honest, I think a lot of people get into that industry because the goal is to get to mainstream movies, like in the theaters, and that's what my goal was. And once I got there, I was like, wow, this is pretty boring. Let me go back to adult film, So like that's really.
So you think that's because I mean, obviously it has happened before. What was the actress who was on Entourage? Gray something. I forgot what her name was.
Tyler Gray?
No, I forget what her name was, but she was a famous adult actress, and then she was also one of the girlfriends on the show. But it was a transition that happened. But generally, that's a pretty difficult transition to go from the adult world to.
Well, Euphoria did
movies.
it.
Huh?
Euphoria, most of the actors were real adult stars. So like that was one of the first directors to actually do that.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And just like girls shouldn't be ashamed of what they're doing. If they like to do it and that's what they want to do, then do it. Who cares? But just know that the internet is forever. Like you have to keep that in mind. Like people are gonna judge you. It's just up to you if you really care about who's talking about you or not.
Yeah.
Do you notice how a lot of people will transition from being like porn stars and then jump straight into extreme Christianity?
Yes.
I think that they go from one extremity to another, and it's
Eva Lovia's
yeah. I
been
feel like
running
there's
into that.
something deep down within them that they need to like latch onto something in an extreme way, and I think that's something they need to address within themselves.
I believe someone here wrote a book about this exact topic. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. 1 of the 5. Thank you.
Yes, that's a very good observation there. Yeah, no, again, I have some friends of mine, like my friend Nicolette. She is not ashamed of doing porn whatsoever.
Well, I know Nicolette.
She's extremely happy about doing it. Nara Ford is not ashamed of it. Tucci is not ashamed. There's some girls, it's like they were like, just like Derrick Henry was built to play running back in the NFL, some girls were built to do adult work and they don't have any shame about it whatsoever. The thing with Lana Rhoades is like now she looks back on it now and she's like, I hate the fact that people can look at this, but I just keep. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Do you guys ever see Mia Khalifa when she said, it's better that I did adult work than being in the military? Because in the military, you give your body to the government. Being in the military is worse than doing porn. And I was like, people kept sending me because I was in the military, people kept sending me the clip and they wanted me to be offended. And I was like, no, what's happened is she has so little gratitude for her position that she can say stupid things like this because people in the military allowed her to have the freedom to say this while she continues to use her porn name, espousing how stupid we were for being in the military. And it's just one of these things where, because it's such a lack of gratitude, no one would even care what she said had she not been the biggest porn star in the world back in 2013. So like, that's where the whole thing is different. It's like, I'm not saying be grateful for that, but it just know that nobody would be listening to you if you weren't doing that. Anyway.
That's like saying, can you take
No
the
one
club
listens
out of the
anyway.
dancer, if you know what I mean?
Is that one of the things you filmed?
No, I'm just saying, like,
there was a
it's
club
like
in someone?
every dancer,
Oh.
like
Oh.
one day, there's going to be a day when they're not a dancer
Yeah,
anymore,
for
and
sure.
like to transfer your mind from that to that.
Real estate agent.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. We're aware.
There you go.
Those are the bottle girls that go
Yeah,
to that.
transfer your mind from that till crypto influencer. We understand how that works. That's the transition.
Well, I think what's funny is like one of the common themes I hear from the girls who are like retiring out of this is they don't regret the doing it. They regret the evidence of it, you know, like the digital footprint that's going to follow them forever. And I think what that kind of does is it reminds even like sort of low, I mean, you don't even have to be doing like OnlyFans, like, you know, intercourse. You could just be doing like nudes on OnlyFans. That stuff's still out there. That's going to be a digital footprint that's going to follow you probably for the rest of your life.
You know, it's funny, when I worked at the strip club, that's exactly why a lot of girls want to strip. Because it's just, you see them that night, whoever you see.
Yeah.
After that, they're not on the internet.
It's
They're
so
not-
I was
wild.
just gonna say
All right,
that.
so 25 years ago, I used to be a DJ at a strip club. The girls at the fully nude spot thought that the girls who worked topless, because in Texas you can do both, and they were right across the street from each other. The girls at the fully nude spot, Palazzo, thought that the girls at at Expose were gross because you're like, they sit on the guys' laps and they let the guys touch them. That's disgusting. Then the girls at the topless place were talking about the girls at the fully nude spot. It's like, they let them show their vaginas. That's disgusting. They would call each other whores. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. All right? Now, what's happened is sort of the same type of situation. The girls who are dancers are like, I don't want anyone to see me on the internet, so that's why I strip in this dark room where nobody can bring a camera. And then the girls that are on the girls that are on OnlyFans, like, I don't want guys to touch me, and that's the reason why I do this online. I'd rather just do this online and wear a mask. I see a lot of girls wearing masks too. That's a big one. So I think it is really interesting, like sort of the dichotomy when it comes to that.
A random Instagram influencer just said that you'll never be able to run for office if you're on only. I don't know. Remember we talked
totally
about the
disagree.
Overton
I
window.
I totally
The
disagree.
Over-
There will
I
be
just-
there
will be a congressman or senator, a
Pretty-
state senator in the next 20 years.
president.
I guarantee you.
I'm running for president. Make pussy expensive again. Vote for me, baby. Okay.
Go back. You got my vote.
No, I think you're right. I think the Overton window is going to get crossed sooner than you think.
Yeah, I think in the next 20 years,
Way sooner than you think.
We're absolutely gonna see.
You're gonna see
a
a-
former adult star become a
Or you're
senator or
going to see an OnlyFans girl who's going to run for office, and she's going to win because she funded her campaign with the money she got from OnlyFans, and people, even Republicans, will be like, all right, as long as she's a Republican, that's fine with me.
Our current senators and everyone else are fucking them anyway, or sorry, screwing them anyway. So
There was actually a
why can't they
former
run?
stripper who ran for a position in politics. I don't believe she won, but then they were making fun of her being a former stripper. And then she's like, why don't I just make an OnlyFans? So then she was actually funding her campaign with
Yeah, I do
OnlyFans.
remember this. This
Yeah.
is from the last election. Yeah,
So-
she almost won. I think at one point she was leading, but
Yeah.
that's I think that's something that we're going to see in the future. The thing is, again, I'm going to just sum it up for all the guys watching. Anyone has the right to have a 900 body count, and I have the right to not date you. Those things. We both have the right. As long as we both have that agency, it's not that big of a deal. Everyone has the right to do porn, and I have the right to date someone who doesn't do porn. Or I can have them on my show because they're super fun. Anyway, got it?
All right,
Got another one?
I got one here, and you said you wanted to do this one this week, and we have to because it's at Coachella.
Yes.
At Coachella right now. You need to calm down and relax, okay? Everyone is saying if she's at Coachella, she's not your girl. She's everyone's girl. Bro, shut the fuck up. This is a music festival, not a loyalty test. Girls are out here dancing with their friends, vibing to the music, wearing fun, cute outfits. It's not even that wild. Look, no one is naked. There's literally no one naked here. So what are you worried about? Meanwhile, the guys are out here in shirtless cowboy suits and outfits and hats and shit, and no one says anything about them. And let's not forget, guys, networking at Coachella is insane. There's a bunch of fashion models, there's a bunch of magazines, influencers, content creators. If she's not at Coachella, if your girl's not here, does she even want to make money and take care of you and your family? So stop tripping. Girls, send this to the group chat or your boyfriend so everyone gets the message. Coachella isn't some wild betrayal. Your guy's just insecure.
What do you guys think? Yeah, you agree?
this is
It's
the,
like,
this
you
is
go to
the men
Coachella-
of the last 4 years in the United States.
What would you say?
This is just like an average man in the last 4 years in the United States.
Yeah.
That's what men have become.
He shouldn't be jealous that you went to Coachella without him?
No man should be jealous of that, but
What do you guys think? Anybody else?
There's a lot to unpack there.
yeah, there's more than that in
That's
that
like, that's
brand
like
of
a weird
his.
turn in the
Yeah.
film.
It's like let her go have fun so she could put food
So
on
she
the
could make
table.
Food
for our
on the table,
family.
yeah. What do you think, Wes?
I think if someone was going to cheat, I think a dirty festival wouldn't be the place I would go to.
Okay.
Because I've been there, I've worked Coachella. It gets grimy, your nose gets filled with this black dust in there. If I'm going to cheat, I'm going to do it in a better place. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What do you think? What do you think, Alvaro? Would you let your girlfriend go to Coachella by herself?
I have one experience like that. Like my ex-girlfriend said go for the Tomorrowland.
Uh-huh.
And me, I say, I like if you go for Tomorrowland, I think it's difficult to keep the relationship.
Yeah.
because it was like the sick day, and we are know what happens sometimes this like the festival.
Yeah.
So I am quick like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, but don't keep together because.
Yeah. So
me,
because she went to Tomorrowland, you wanted to break
Yeah,
up with her.
in my head like the.
So why isn't he going
He's
though?
the angel. No, I don't.
Why,
think.
Why don't you
why
go
doesn't she want him to go with her? Okay,
Yeah,
so
you should be going with me
I don't
or
want my man
paying
to
for a
come with me.
bodyguard.
I'm just gonna go ahead. You want
Sure,
to say
we're
something?
good.
So maybe the
No?
problem is like the effect that maybe the alcohol or another thing that in the festival they can find. That's the problem because
It's
the
crazy.
personality the person share with this.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Anybody else have something to say about this?
See, why would you not go with your girl?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, go-
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Sounds so
I
fun.
was thinking that. Why,
Healthy
or
space.
the actual question is, why would your girl want to go without you?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Healthy space.
So
Some guys aren't fun, so
All right,
we want to
so
go
here's
without
the thing.
them.
I'm going to I'm gonna burst your bubble. That
Send some videos.
the guy in the video is one of my clients, and that was a joke. The whole thing was
Okay,
of
let's
course
not-
you don't let your girl go to fucking Coachella. That is ridiculous.
Great.
Yes, bro, it's ridiculous. Dude,
She's
I'm on
everybody's
stage
girl.
I'm on stage every week at every nightclub in Las Vegas, and the idea that the women aren't coming here to cheat, you are out of your mind. Of course they are. It's ridiculous. I'm not
Stories.
Huh? Yeah, of course. It's so ridiculous.
Sorry.
It is so like you can't convince me anymore. I'm not saying you guys. I'm sure none of you would ever cheat. I'm just saying girls come here and they like listen. Oh, they're on stage at whatever nightclub, and when they're on stage at whatever nightclub, there's an incredibly good-looking VIP host who used to be a male model who takes them up on stage next to the DJ. And then they meet their favorite DJ of all time, and they're sitting there with their girlfriends, and then they all go up to a suite, like 50 of them go up to a suite where everything's catered, they're with their favorite, and then somebody passes out some Molly, and they don't intend on cheating on their boyfriend. They have no intention of cheating on their boyfriend. And then they do a little blow, and then next thing you know, they're like they're calling Diplo West by his first name. Like it's just one of these things that happens. And I've seen girls who I absolutely knew had no intention of cheating, but if you keep putting pressure on someone, after a while they crack. If you took an incredibly faithful, a monogamous man and you put him next to the Playboy Mansion, and every week he was hanging out with Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion, he's more likely to cheat. I don't understand how women clearly can understand that concept, but the idea you want to go to Coachella by yourself, I'm not saying that you're going to cheat. I'm saying it's just more likely. And then the real question is, why would you want to go to something, have this experience without me? You know, that's the only thing.
Yeah, I would love to go with my man.
Yes.
Like, what's the point of doing these things without him? But I'm sober, so I don't have that issue as much, and I'll just walk away. But I'm like, why would you, if you would want to go somewhere, I would bring my man with me always, because I want to be eye candy. I'm like, I'm hot. This is the man I'm with. You should be jealous. Like,
I'm all about some outdoor, you know what? You know, doing it in a tent sounds fun to me.
Like I'm not saying this from a place of insecurity. I'm saying this because I'm the guy with 15 girls on Marquee Skydeck every year for EDC, and they left their boyfriends at home. And I watch what they do. I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. Like, you can't convince me of anything else. I am on the other side. I am the problem. I am the problem.
I am that dude.
I am the Coachella problem. I am fully aware. I see it all the time. You cannot tell me that's not what's going on. Of course, it's not everyone, but the problem, here's another thing. If you have a cul-de-sac, let's say you have a neighborhood, there's a street, and on the street, everybody owns their house. Let's say all the houses are estimated about $500,000. The first person who sells their house, once they sell their house at like $495, you start seeing everyone else in the neighborhood start to sell their house. Once the first person does. If you have a group of people that are married, the first couple that gets divorced, the rest of the couples that get divorced. Effect. Okay? And men and women can have hoe friends that make them do hoe shit. And that's what happened. I don't know why we have to have, yes. Are you the hoe friend, or do you have hoe friends? You're the hoe friend? They have hoe friends who do hoe shit. And
I've heard about a study.
Like, you're the 5 people that are closest to you, like, represent
Of course.
You. And so when, you know, I had an ex who hung out with people who were hoes, and, like, obviously it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, you're hanging out. I'm like, I don't want to hang out with your friends because they're all hoes. And then what are you doing behind my back? You know, how am I supposed to trust you when I hear what you and your friends talk and how you guys talk about people? Sounds like you guys are a little bit slutty and doing things behind my back. You just don't want to tell me. And I'm very open. Like, I think love is love. If you tell me what you plan on doing, go fuck whoever you want to fuck. But that I can see that all your friends are shady, so you're probably being shady with me, and I don't like that.
Men cheat for pleasure, and women cheat for opportunity. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but festivals are all about like pleasure, peace, love, unity, respect. Just happy wife, happy life. Let her cheat a little bit. Stop fucking complaining, dude.
That is, yes, just let
her cheat a little bit.
Right?
Okay, guys.
Here's the clip.
If you're not going to go with her, then go set your own shit up for the weekend and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Leave her
just go
alone.
do your own thing.
Guys can cheat too. My guys
Hey
should
guys,
have
let me ask you a
a
question. Let me ask you a question. Legitimately. Let me ask you a question.
real.
If you guys were wearing gloves and you wash your hands in the sink, is that really washing your hands?
Oh.
Is that really washing your hands?
No.
So if your man wears a condom, is that really cheating? I mean, really? Is it?
Not if you send me videos.
Yes,
and tell me about
it's
it.
really interesting listening to see the I want to hear.
No, it's just like
Bex and
using a
them just try
dildo.
to
It's the
make
same
that
thing
one
as
work.
using a rubber cock. Same thing. It's the same thing as using a rubber dildo. Same thing.
Use a rubber dildo. You did
Yeah.
not cheat on your glass dildo. I understand what you're saying.
Same thing.
I got that totally. I understand. Guys, I'm just saying, like, again, most women actually, and I'm gonna get skewered for this. Yeah. Most women don't cheat. They actually don't. In a marriage, most women do not cheat. And even the amount of women that cheat in comparison to men is lower. And the reason for that is not because men are bad. It's because, well, let me ask you guys a question.
It's because men are bad.
Well,
Definitely.
I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. If I were to measure grip strength, so that's what one of the ways they do in evolutionary psychology. I were to take 100,000 men and measure grip strength. The men with the highest grip strength, do you think they're more or less likely to cheat?
You mean if they're full of testosterone
Very
and
good. That was-
stronger?
you-
and
you
like, yeah,
skipped ahead to the
I
next
get
one.
it.
Keep going.
I get it, but
Would they be
have
more or
a
less
they
like
have a prefrontal cortex. You know, you have to be able
Again,
to
I'm
control
with you.
yourself.
I'm with- yeah,
When
but
you
the
talk like
prefrontal
that.
cortex also makes it
words.
so that sex is completely non-contextual for them.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think it matters because they all cheat.
Well,
You put them all in a
if you're the
position, the
person-
right position, they all cheat. Even
if-
the very,
yeah,
even
if
the
you're-
very
if
weak,
your
low
partner-
testosterone ones. We know.
Same with women. They're just
They
as
just
horny.
have to pay for it at
Weird.
the strip club.
I was like, we are just as horny as they are.
All right, so men, great. Men with a higher grip strength or men with higher testosterone are actually more likely to cheat. Men who have higher IQs are actually more likely to cheat. There's a bunch of things, and what happens is that sexual variety, it's a lot of it is fueled by testosterone. So definitely is. So that's the reason why. But the reality is, when I see women here and I see a bachelorette party, I'm just waiting for her to just start making out with some random dude because it happens every time.
Babe.
And her hoe friend who's next to her, who's usually either the girl who's leading the whole group, is like shoving her onto some male stripper or some dude who walked up to her table when they're at Access in a comp. Every time I see the same thing over and over again. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't think most people want to cheat. I mean, it would be a horrible feeling to get cheated on or to cheat. But what I do think is if you put enough pressure on somebody, your dream girl, the right drugs, the right location, whatever, then things can happen.
You gotta make sure that you're not in those situations though. And then when they do cheat, honestly, like I love like if you keep your partner happy, if you keep that man wrapped around your finger all the time, like
So gaslight him after he cheats on you.
Yes.
There you go.
There it
Gaslight
is.
him
no,
after he cheats on you.
no. Make sure he's happy. If he has a lot of testosterone, then
Yeah.
hook up a lot. Like I love hooking up. You want to
Dude.
hook up in the parking lot? Like let's go right
Women
now.
have
Like
more
5 minutes before.
testosterone than ever. When I became an entertainer in Vegas a couple
Yeah.
years ago, I realized women are so much more dominant than men.
Okay.
Like their testosterone's more than women in 2025, in my opinion.
So I'm reading Professor Richard Reeves' A Boys and Men book right now, and he goes over this. Women actually are stronger since the 1950s physically, and men are physically when they measure by grip strength. Do you know this? Women are physically stronger and men are physically weaker to the point where the median for grip strength is almost getting to be about the same.
What?
That is madness.
What?
That is madness when you think about that. But yeah, it's.
Are they on steroids?
Huh?
Are these women on steroids?
I think a lot of women have more testosterone. I don't know why it is, but that's the other question. We understand the reason why men are being feminized. It has to do with the plastics. It has to do with our diet. It has
Shout
to do
out
with
to
our
those hot
sedentary
feminine
lifestyle.
men.
The question I want to know is why do women have more testosterone?
Well, women
we
are
have to
working
step
out
up
more.
'cause of
Like
all
Yeah, for
these
sure.
I'm
femboys.
like I'm a bodybuilder.
We want
I
more.
weightlift.
We want more out of
I
life.
weightlift more than my weight. Like I weightlift sometimes more than a lot of these men.
Yeah.
So I'm hornier than you. So
We don't wanna
like
depend
if you
on a
can't
man.
keep up with me, then like we're not good.
Well, we happen to have a personal trainer here.
Yeah, I think that's something personal. Some girl is not horny all the time.
Yeah.
Another girl.
It's just
still-
you, babe.
I do
You
have
act
to,
like a nerd.
I do have
You're
to point,
opposite.
I do have to point this out though, and I'm gonna quote McMurphy. Credit where it's due. Okay, people who this is from his studies, from one of his research things. People who cheat are generally more physically attracted to their affair partners, but see their primary partners as better parents, suggesting infidelity serves a dual mating strategy and not a mate switching
That's an
hypothesis.
Are we only talking about
obvious.
women, or is it women and men?
I believe it's both.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so they've tend to find their cheating partner, their affair partner, more physically attractive as
You get
opposed to their.
bored.
Hey, here's-
They get bored.
Here's an interesting stat. I'm curious what you guys think about this. When men cheat, or when they're offered free sex, non-contextual free sex outside of their relationship, well, let's start with women. When women do it, they tend to cheat with men who are better looking than their partner, taller than their partner, sometimes richer than their partner, funnier than their partner.
It's not her choice. It's her ovaries doing that naturally.
Yeah, it's naturally creating.
Screaming out.
Screaming out.
Like I'm ovulating.
So here's the thing, Bex. When women cheat, they aim up, which look like the hypergamy scale. For men, when they cheat, there is no floor. In fact, Dr. Buss
No
calls
one's
it,
ugly after
You're right.
2
Dr. Buss
a.m.
calls it embarrassingly low standards that happen to men whenever, like they literally 18 to 80, blind, cripple, or crazy. They don't care. It doesn't matter. 80 or 280.
Men never cheat with who's better. They cheat with who's available. There's
Agreed.
a difference.
Yeah.
They cheat with whatever is in front of their face in the moment and available and easy and accessible.
And we don't remember their name in the morning.
Yeah, no, they don't care.
I'm really good with names. I don't feel that way.
Hey, let me get you. an
Women
Uber.
don't cheat just for
What
no
was your
reason.
name again?
And not that cheating is right. It's not right.
What do you want me to tell the Uber driver? Who's the Uber driver picking up?
Yes,
What's your name
yes.
again? Sarah?
What's that? Your stripper name?
What's your Instagram? Can I see it again? Incredible, awesome. I'm so glad you came back because this is like I need this. I need this
Anytime.
perspective. All right.
So wait. The title of today's show was "How Important Are Man's Looks to Women?" So are you now all confessing that looks are actually the primary driver of infidelity? Not to
Women
mention
can
anything
program their brain to be attracted to anything almost, I believe. You know, some women are just, it has to be the personality, some has to be the money, some has to be the looks. Some need all of it, some don't need all of it. You can kind of program your brain to anything a lot easier than a guy because men are very visual. Women fall in love with their ears, men fall in love with their eyes. So a man never goes out with a date with a woman that should lose 20 pounds and they're like, well, she only needs to lose 20 pounds. Let me just stick with her and like ride through it, you know? But you meet women all the time that are just like, oh, he's going to school. I'm going to stick with him until he gets a job and he makes money one day and hopefully.
And then he goes to the
that.
hippo.
Yeah,
All his money on Friday.
Women will go on these dates with these rich men and stuff, and that's what they're looking for, like something that's like secure and like financially stable. Whereas men are like more of like visual and like that's how they like are attracted. And
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like sometimes I'm more of a man in that aspect because if I'm not attracted to you, I've tried so hard to date old rich men, and I just can't do it.
You can send them to me.
Yeah, I'll
So
send. I'll outsource
West-
them.
West
I'll be
is
like, hey,
strong,
we'll give you a
cut. We'll
horny,
give you a cut.
young, not interested in rich men,
Let me
and only
tag
cares
him.
that you're hot. We got it.
If I'm attracted to you, like I like attractive older men who are like in shape.
Yeah.
But like a lot of these rich men, they're so focused on their careers, they don't take care of themselves, and I'm like, I can't do it.
We'll get him a trainer. It's fine.
this is another. Alvaro, how old are you?
36.
36. Okay. So the thing we were talking about before with and Mackin is one of the people who brings this up is that women generally want to date people about 3 years older than them, and that,
3 to
that
7,
these
but
men who are in their 40s and 50s who want to date 20-year-olds, it's like misaligned, and the women aren't interested. And the reality is, no,
You just have to be hot.
they're just fat.
just have to.
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's my point.
I love
There's a
dating
lot of
men that are like big.
Hold on a
older
second. Hold on a
women.
second. Let's look at Alvaro right here. If he was dating a 23-year-old girl and he's 36, do you think that this is misaligned? Do you think he should be with someone more age appropriate, or is he in good enough shape to where this doesn't matter? What do you think?
I don't think that has to do with his shape.
He's probably busy, and
it's just like-
she has a lot
I
of
can
free
assure
time
you
on her
he is.
hands. Like a man who works all day and then has to take care of himself. Like that girl, he only has like so much time with a woman, and women think they need a guy all day, but like once they get him, they're like, oh, you know what, this is too much. So bitches are just crazy. You just gotta accept that. That's why so many men are gay. I'm like, I get it. You got sick of us. I get it.
Let me throw something out. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Alvaro, but I have to ask you this question. So if you look up here, that's Alvaro before and after.
Damn.
That is Alvaro before and after. So that's quite a transformation. And goddamn, man, I'm just like that's
Can
insanely
we get
great.
a live?
But
Can
so,
we stay in person?
So I want to ask you
Come
this.
on, I'll show you if you show
He
me.
will do
I'll
it.
show you if you show me.
But before you do, let me ask you this: Did you find that women treated you differently once you started looking like the guy on the left or on the right side rather than the left side?
Oh, in my opinion, and my experience with that is like the body, and one side is like when the man don't have money, nobody with him, and with the body is what similar with me. When I looking like that, like the very fat, nobody look at me like everybody like that. What is this guy? So many messenger like that. Why you looking so wrong? So I get in depression like for 2 years. Everybody texts me like why you looking like that? What happened with you? You are good. And after I started for recovering, I think there's something that I learned in this moment was like the mind is more important than the body. So if you don't work, you can working out your body, but the mind is the first thing. So that was like the 7 years ago, and yeah, after that I started for recovery. But my motivation when I was young, it was the girl for sure.
Yeah.
The first thing I was
Every
looking at
man's
the school like how the girl love it, the good body, good shape. I said, oh, I need to start for working out.
Yeah.
But I started for learning practice, but it was my first motivation.
Yeah, I actually, and I know the Mode 1 guys will disagree with this. I think if it causes you to get in shape because you like women, there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever you got,
Yeah,
whatever you
whatever.
need. And by the way, those of
be-
you who
it could
get
be anything.
you get off your ass,
Absolutely not.
you get off your ass and you start a business or you become an entrepreneur and you initially you did it for women. Because the thing is, I think you're going to get to a point, and you're probably at this point now where you're not doing it for women anymore. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure.
that
It's your
happens. That
business
takes
now.
a while to get to that point. But initially, I remember being in my early 20s, just being the dude not being picked, and everything became about me getting selected, and so everything became about me getting in better shape or making more money so that women would be attracted. And then now on the other end of it, looking back and being like, no, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this to make my partners rich. I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for my team. I'm doing this because I'm trying to grow a legacy.
purpose.
I'm doing this for my family members. That's why I'm doing it now. But initially, that is. But if that's the thing that gets you off your ass, then it's worth it, because there's too many men on the other end of this. It's like 1 in 3 of men who take their own lives, of people who take their own lives. 1 in 3 is death of desperation. I think that's what he talked about it. It's men are taking their own lives at a astronomically higher rate than women now, and the reason why is because they're just being left out of the dating marketplace. So if that's the thing, and by the way, it's also natural when you consider probably the most important thing we do as a human species to keep the species going is to reproduce, right? We don't see it as that important now because there's 8 billion of us, right? There's 400,000 elephants on the planet and 8 billion humans. We won. And so we don't see it as nearly as important as we probably did before, but at the same time, it's like that was the most important thing. The only thing I can tell you about every single one of you in this room is that you are the result of an unbroken chain of almost like a blockchain of DNA where your ancestors did not fail to reproduce. Does that make sense? Some of you probably down the line, 10,000 years ago, maybe had a guy who had sex with a woman, got her pregnant, and then he died right afterwards and wasn't able to raise a child. But as long as you were able to reproduce, that was the only thing that mattered. And so you have an unbroken chain of that. I was reading somewhere, I believe it was 15,000 years ago, there were 6,000 breeding females in the world. In the whole world. I could be wrong. It could be 50,000, but it was some crazy number like that. There was some another number I saw. I believe it was 9,000 years ago. There were 17 women for every 1 man who was breeding.
Yeah,
some
that's
crazy, like
8,000 years ago.
Shout out to my
before
free cams
agriculture.
for the girlfriend experience.
Yeah, crazy numbers like that. So throughout history, this is the most telling thing. 40% of men and 80% of women, on average, reproduce. Think about that number. That means there's 60% of men who don't reproduce.
Why
and
more
probably
women should
never
be
had
poly?
sex. Huh?
Why more women should be poly?
Why more women should be poly so that
Yes.
more men can reproduce. Thank you. See what this is like? This is like vagina socialism. I think it's like egalitarian vagina. There you go.
There we go.
Incredible.
Nobody told them all they needed to do was learn to play drums, and they would have been just fine with it.
So you could take the club out of the dance ring.
Take the club out of the.
Is that why you learned to play
Worst.
drums? So you could reproduce?
I learned at a young age that girls like musicians. So.
Yeah.
All the motivation in the puss. Like Beck said.
It's okay to learn it
got
for
me in the
multiple
gym in the
reasons.
first place.
Yes.
If there was no punani, we would not have buildings, we would not have roads,
Oh, totally
we would not
agree.
have
No,
electricity,
it's not-
the
it's-
wheel would have never been invented. Give me a break. You
it's
did
not-
not do any of that for your bros.
It's not just that, Bex. It's that women are picky. If women weren't picky, we'd all be living in caves.
Men are picky.
No, men are.
I don't know. I've seen some
No,
of
men-
my
men-
friends with
let
some
explain
questionable
something. Let me
creatures.
explain to you why you're wrong, okay? Go on Pornhub and look how many different niches of porn there are, okay? There's
Oh, who are you
blondes,
telling? I
fat
had to
girls,
study
skinny
it to
girls,
shoot it.
This girl, midgets. I mean,
No,
there's so many.
Here's the difference.
We're not picky.
A man will straight up tell his friends, that girl's ugly, I would never hook up with her, and then hook up with her. That's the difference. They have no shame. If it was all of a sudden offered to them, they're going to hook up with her. That's what'll happen. They don't care.
I mean,
Man, like, dude, it's
You're
crazy.
right.
So just you go, for all the science nerds here, so they survey maybe 100,000 guys and they say, how many sexual partners do you want in your lifetime? And whatever the number is, want 50, 25, whatever the number is. And then they do the same thing for women. And so they take the two survey groups and then they stack them side by side. And the median man was in the top 1% of women. Do you understand? Meaning the sluttiest slut porn star you know is not as interested in as much sex as the average Indian 14-year-old.
Oh, for sure.
That's the variety of sexual partners.
But women get shamed about it.
Huh?
But women get shamed about it. But it's getting better.
It's getting better.
I just don't know why anyone cares. I don't want an inexperienced man. I want a man with a high body count. You better know what you're doing. Come correct. I'm not here to teach you.
We're opposite. I'm like,
You better come teach me some
We're
new things.
opposite. I'm like, I'll teach you everything.
Something
Don't waste
that
my time.
Hey, go ahead, Alvaro. Go.
Girls like you, I feel like you owe the girl prior a thank you. In my opinion, I'm the girl you would thank. I'm like, "You're welcome."
Thank you for making us more experienced, Beck.
Yeah.
Now we're all better because of you. Go ahead.
okay, something that I know also for the girl is that they like to find the guy rich, but they have it also the man with good sex.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, bro. I say this every week. Yes.
I love that.
Every
I love
single
that.
girl. I'm about to piss some people off. Every single one of the girls that I know who has a sugar daddy, and I know hundreds of them. I live in Clark fucking County. All right.
Why during 1 million?
Every
why during 2
single
million?
one of them who has a sugar daddy is sleeping with some other dude for free who's really good looking. Because when women are surrounded by beta, they crave alpha.
Wait.
That is true.
What did you say? One with what? Huh?
No, that's the like the oh, this guy rich, give me the money, everything, but they don't happy because they don't have good sex or attention like the natural. Like they maybe make one food.
Wait,
go for
can't you say
workout.
the same thing about women though? That you have a hot bitch and then you have the one who pays all your bills?
No,
They have,
for
they
sure.
have the one that
That's-
takes care of
I-
their kids and then the one
No,
that they
I'm
sleep
talking
with
about
later.
both things like that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just talking about guys.
Yeah.
But you agree it's both. Like you obviously have a baddie that you're hitting, and then you have a housewife who's like, don't lie.
Does your
Please.
laundry.
Well, if you guys would just hit the gym more and make a little
Not
more
Alvaro.
money.
Alvaro spends all of his time in the gym.
Shout out,
your body count
shout out
up.
to abstinence. Shout out to abstinence. Just leave these women behind, and then we'll all be happier. Got it?
And the older you get, the more being in shape is a flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penis shape.
Whenever I hear, anyway, the point of the thing I was saying
Being
like
in shape.
three segments ago is that not that women don't want men who are older, they don't want men who are fat.
Yes.
That's what it
Wait,
is.
we talked about this earlier. The fat above their dicks it hits your clit immediately, so that's great. So that's not all women. And then back to what you said. What did you just say?
I said,
Dick shape. I heard from a gay guy
no,
once.
I said the older you get, the more being in shape is a flex.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dick shape because I heard a gay guy told me once if a guy's got a curved dick, it's because it's a muscle and they jacked off so much that way that it curved that way. And I was like, damn.
I don't think that's the way it works.
It makes a lot of sense.
I would ask ChatGPT that first and see if
Yeah,
that's accurate.
perplexity.
I would ask Perplexity if that's accurate.
I like cried one time during.
Come on.
I cried one time because a guy had a pencil dick, and so when we had sex, and that was the moment I knew I was like, I can't be with this man.
She likes the girth.
No amount
She's
of
a
money would
girthy
fix
girl.
that.
No amount of money would fix that. I was done.
No, actually, it will. They have enlargement surgeons. Yeah.
I didn't stick around for that.
Like,
They don't have
Stick
any
around, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Stick around.
Stick around.
Stick around. All right.
But
Good.
anyway,
I got
going
this.
back to your point of like men getting in shape for women, and women do it also to attract better men. I think bullying works because that's why I got sober and got into bodybuilding and getting into
Bullying?
shape. Bullying, like I had comments from guys being like, I like this with these women that look better than you, and so eventually I got to a point where it's like, oh, actually, I don't want to look like this anymore. So that's why I got in shape. And I saw a guy from a few years ago that I used to work with. And he's like, you've been working out. I can tell. I was like, who is this girl? And I was like, thank you. This is what I've been waiting for wasn't my only point. I eventually, like he said, mindset was for me to look better. And that's why I bodybuild because I want a certain physique now. But in the beginning, that was my motivation, to look better, to attract these men without having to do much of anything. So I go to the gym, I spend these hours in the gym so that I could relax the rest of the day and not have to suck it in.
Incredible. Shout out to Anavar and Ozempic.
No, I'm natural. This took a long time.
2025, summer of no Anavar or Ozempic. Sorry,
Yes.
if you come to Clark County, we're fresh
We're
out.
fresh
Because
out.
all,
Yes.
because all
Sold
the model
out.
girls bought it, all of it. We don't have
No,
any more
yeah.
Ozempic.
I'm natural, so this took way longer. So
Girl
I had a
Anavar.
couple years of man, I'm not where I want to be. But now I'm at a point, I'm like, okay, cool. But now these girls are catching up to me because they're on Ozempic and Anavar. I'm like, damn it. Damn it.
We're all natural too. It's cool.
My boobs are real. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care how much you insult me. I'm not coming off that story. All right, do we have anything else?
Yeah, I got here.
The guy with the hot girlfriend because he knows how to pull. He closed the ultimate deal, okay? You ever see a man guy with a
No, yeah,
hot
yeah, let me back it up.
girlfriend.
It's just so you can catch it from the first.
Hire the guy with the hot girlfriend because he knows how to pull. He closed the ultimate deal, okay? You ever see like a man guy with a hot girlfriend? You think he got her by just walking up to her and being like, hi? No, he knows how to carry himself and he knows how to close a deal. The ultimate deal. And I've been a sales manager for a couple years now, and I always look at the life that somebody's built around them. What city do they live in? Who's their partner? Who are their friends? What do they do for a living? How much do they love themselves? What do they look like? Because these sound very stereotypical, but it is a reflection of how this person works inside of their life. If this person's a hard worker and knows how to talk to people, they're going to build a great life for themselves. And no, I don't hire people just based off of this, but it is a great indicator to the level of success that somebody is going to have in other areas of their life. So if you're interviewing somebody and they have a hot boyfriend, hot girlfriend, great life, amazing car, live in a great city and love their life, they're more likely to do better for your business. So hire the guy with the hot girlfriend and hire the girl with the hot boyfriend.
What do you guys think?
I think if you have all of those things, he probably has his own business.
I don't know. Like I know people who have their own business and their sales manager, their sales lead makes more money than the CEO. If you get a commission based, we have another video like this. Anybody, what's it called, remote selling on the phone, you can make so much money. I know people who do this. They have their own LLC and all they do is remote sell for other companies, and they make way more money than owning their own business. So it's kind of different. But in her situation, the idea of the mid guy getting the hot girl, there's some kind of sales job going on there. What do you think?
Can I spike on that?
Yeah.
First of all, I stopped dating 10s because the baggage that comes with, like, a
Wait,
hot girl-
male 10s or
if
female
any,
10s?
Female or male. And
Okay.
if they're a 10, they're crazy. I only go for 6s now.
Hot crazy matrix.
Yes.
You never seen that?
That's why I'm so sane. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you agree.
Yes. My midness.
Yeah, when she said like, "Oh, hire the girl with the hot boyfriend," I don't know about the hot boyfriend.
Agreed.
Because I think
I think she was just trying to be equal, though. The reality
Yeah.
is the man with a hotter girlfriend, the really hot girl with a hot boyfriend, that is not a sales job.
No.
I totally agree with you. Also, the desperation of men. I see women all the time who are mid with really good-looking boyfriends. All the time. Because that's the best he can do. He just doesn't know how to talk to people. He runs his mouth too much, and he says stupid shit. Anybody else?
It's in the head.
You guys think about this? Would you hire anybody? No?
Well,
Nobody
as a
working
dancer
telephone
who
sales?
works for most couples, and I've worked for couples who are 21 years and they're celebrating their first anniversary where the husband is, I'm the first woman that they've ever seen touch their woman, or I'm the first woman that the wife has ever seen be touched by the husband, and I have to create a really safe space for that. You know, first of all, I hit her with I'm gay, and I don't care about your husband. I'm here for you, baby. You know, which is facts, but either way, I'm just saying, like, you know.
Hear this, ladies? Learn how to gaslight. That is the answer. I'm not here for your husband. Wink, wink. Get that wallet. You know what I'm saying? You understand. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cardi B. Finish what you're saying.
That's all I was just gonna say. Like, I've worked for a lot of couples, and I realized ones that have been together for 6 months come in the club, 8 years, 21 years. Like, it's all very similar as far as like, you know, in my opinion, like, why? How did you stay with a guy for 21 years? You must know how to black out. You know, like, you must
Black
know how
out?
to like disassociate hardcore. Or he's like,
Why would you need to black out after 21 years? Because the sex is boring?
well, I mean, seeing the same person for 21 years. I mean. Yeah.
I mean, do you see monogamy working for most people?
No, it does not work for most people.
Why are strip clubs in business?
Especially not women. Yeah.
Not even just humans.
Yeah, right. The monogamy seems to have
In
a
any
time limit on it.
species, yeah.
No, there's some.
They're
There's
very
very
interesting.
few
There's a
species.
few, I'm saying, but you know,
There's-
in
so-
general, it's an interesting topic for another day.
There's five.
Get on.
There's 5,000 species of mammals on the planet. Only 3% of them pair bond at all. And for like long-term
Swans and
monogamy,
field
there's like
mice.
3 species that long-term pair bond like one person. Yeah, it's even the penguin bringing the pebble to the other penguin, he brings the pebble to a different penguin the next year. Like it's that's not even monogamy. So. It's really kind of a misnomer. And also, when we talk about pickiness, men are not picky in compared to women, but men are very picky in compared to other mammals. Like if you put a male and a female cat together, or male and female dog, they will have sex. Does not make any difference what the other one looks like. They have that's why we say having sex
Chihuahua,
like
Great
cats and
Dane,
dogs.
doesn't matter.
That's what happens. A bull does not look and say, "Wow, that cow over there doesn't look hot." Like he doesn't care. He's gonna have sex with all of them. So in comparison to other mammals, especially like chimpanzees, bonobos, men are actually very picky. Homo sapien men are very picky, but in comparison to women, they're not very picky.
I actually Googled that. I was like, what are the gay animals out there and what animals
Gay
commit
animals?
suicide. I just Googled. I was bored,
Oh,
you know.
interesting.
I was like, what
Houseflies.
animals, are gay and what?
Dolphins and porpoises.
See, she knows it. She Googled it. She Googled it. But I also wanted to know what mammals or animals can commit suicide. Like what intention? And there's a lot.
Lemmings.
There's a lot.
Bees.
You know, I was going to
Honeybees.
say, let me throw my 2 cents in here. I have written about the opposite of what that video just was. Meaning, like, if I know a guy who is very sort of, let's say, agreeable and I'm trying to go with the big 5 personality traits, conscientious, and he's very sort of like appeasing of his wife, you know, saying, yes, dear, oh, happy wife, happy life. I meet that guy, I am not going into business with that guy. Simply because and I experienced this when I worked in wine and spirits. Okay, so when I was working in the wine and spirits industry, one of the guys that I worked with went through a really nasty divorce, and his wife took a good chunk of his profits and his business because he was so accommodating, so appeasing, and such in every other aspect of his life. He's very, very alpha, very very dominant, hired and fired all the time, except with the woman. And so when the divorce is split, now all the people who invested in his company now are feeling the effects of that divorce split because now he doesn't have the same kind of capital that he had before. And so when he says, hey, I want to go and launch a new brand, I want to go and do these new things, the people who used to say, yeah, let's go do it, they're like, I don't know, man. And so when you get into those situations where you're meeting a guy and they're, hey, I want to start a business with you, and he's got his wife there, is that okay with you, honey? And that's when I'm good, man. Thanks. I'll be an investor with somebody.
Look, if you look at all the closers, all the sales guys who work for me, they're all dating 10s. And I joke with them all the time. I was like, if you start dating an ugly girl, I'm going to fire you. And obviously, I'm kidding to anybody.
He's not kidding.
Any law enforcement out there. Clearly, I'm kidding. But I tell them all the time, if you guys, because they're closers.
Yeah.
These closers need to close. They need to understand that concept. And if they don't, then I'm I don't really have any use for them.
Yeah. You can't enter into business with a guy who's like scared of his wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Or asking permission.
Me and Bex love simps.
Yeah, why not?
They pay the bills.
Not like all the time, but
Which one do you want to do?
That's a great transition.
Okay, here we
wouldn't date
go.
one, but I'll boss them around.
This is very short, so watch.
Just like I spent over a year chasing you and texting you first every day, I will continue that same energy and eagerness for the rest of our lives, and to keep chasing you to get you to keep falling in love with me every day.
What do you guys think about it? Isn't that so sweet? Who likes that? You guys like that?
I love it.
By the way,
love
she
it.
posted that on her IG. That went viral. Yeah.
I love it.
You like it? Yeah.
Yes, the grovel.
The grovel.
Yeah.
I like that you're calling
He
it groveling.
obsessed with me.
What else? Anybody else? What do you guys think?
If she posted that, that's a girl to girl.
I don't
Of
like
course.
I don't like
Of course, it's a flex.
repetitiveness.
It's a flex.
I don't like repetitiveness, but I do get the chase. To so she in that case, in that video, she always needs to be chased. She's gonna have to always pull away a little bit for him.
Well, no, I guarantee you, the guy that she's cheating on her husband with, he doesn't. He doesn't chase her. I promise you.
Yeah, but he's watching, so it's fine.
Again,
He's
guys,
totally
you
a
guys
cop.
see how Bex just said that? She wasn't even joking. We all know it's obvious. The problem with this is it's not just bad for him to say this shit. It's bad for her because now she's married to someone she doesn't respect. It's ridiculous. The idea that all I'm going to do is chase.
That's maybe what they're into. It's not that they don't respect each other. It's you have to be honest about what you're into, and then if you're cool with it, you.
Yeah, compatibility wise,
information.
that works for them because I love being chased. As soon as you stop chasing me, then I don't feel wanted, and then I don't want to hook up with you. And I like to hook up all the time. So I need that validation.
let me say this real quick.
So you wouldn't be at the altar getting married in the first place.
Yeah, if I was chasing you for a year and we weren't hooking up, then you would lose respect for me. You would. If you want to sit there and whatever cope you want to use to make act like, if you, I'm sorry, ladies. If you make a guy wait 3 dates, that's fine. But when you start making guys wait 4 months, he's like, I chased you every day for a year. If you make a guy wait 4 months, there's something in your brain that's going to go off. The elephant, the subconscious is going to be like, micro penis. That's all you're thinking. There's something wrong with a dude who's going to forego vagina for 4 months to chase you. That means no other woman wants him. That's why this is so bad. Her relationship would be better if he wasn't saying simp shit like that. That's the point. That's you have to have some level of self-respect. Here's the other reason why, okay? I'll tell you right now, you guys right now get more attention from men than the quarterback for the Raiders gets from women.
Yeah.
Average women get more attention from men, like dudes throwing it at you, than professional athletes get from women.
We ask for it though. We want obsessive men.
For sure. But what my point is, if you have that level, if you
Leave me alone.
if you have that
You
level,
say that.
if you have that level of what's the word I'm looking for? If you get that level of attention from men and we're chasing you, that means that you have 2 points of leverage in the relationship, and you can't. I believe women want to date men they want to admire. I'm sorry. If you're getting all this attention
what a
from other
degrading
men
kink sounds
and
like.
I'm chasing you, there's no way you're going to admire me. That's ridiculous. So I'm not saying men don't chase at all. I'm just saying if I chase, then I am rewarded. Then you are all over me, and that's fine. And then what'll happen is because I was validated in our relationship, I'm gonna chase a little bit more. I've said this before. If a woman gives you a child and brings peace to your home, she deserves everything. She deserves everything. The problem is 99% of men give women everything, and the women did nothing to deserve it. They offer dick for free.
And women like that, they love to be degraded. I'm one of them.
Again,
Don't tell me my pussy is pretty. Like, tell me I'm disgusting. And I'm like, I'm coming.
Nasty.
Shout out to sexpanther.com.
Yeah.
Sexpanther.com.
Seriously, if you get told you're pretty all the time, like, you're gonna develop a degrading kink.
I want
I think a year is a long
I want a
time.
5-page essay on why you're absolutely obsessed with me, even though I already know.
Bex, I'm not saying men aren't going to be obsessed with you. I absolutely think they would be. My point is, if they're obsessed with you and they chase after you for 6 months, you're not more attracted to them. You're not.
But chase after in what way? Chase after for
Every day
a
they
date?
message
Chase
you.
after for sex? Chase after to
To
hang
even
out?
be in a
Like, for
relationship.
what?
I think chemistry.
You know, like, are
Yeah.
you
I mean,
dating at all?
Okay,
There's-
a
there's-
guy that is good looking enough for you to date is coming after you for 6 months, and you don't have enough chemistry to have sex with him in 6 months.
Oh
You
no,
don't think
I'm
that's a
not gonna
problem?
wait 6 months because
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get dick fished.
Okay, hold on.
And I'm not
One
gonna
more time.
end up with a freaking
Listen,
pencil and be
no.
disappointed that now I like
Listen.
his
You
can feel it from
personality.
dry
and I have to
humping.
deal with it.
Listen, guys, everybody listen to what Beck said. For those guys who are out there listening to this, she even said that, because there's guys out here listening right now who are dating women who are making them wait 4, 5, 6 months. If she had chemistry, she's going to have sex with you, because women, I know your church didn't want you to know this, but women enjoy sex too. I understand Disney doesn't want you to know this, but women enjoy sex too. And because they enjoy sex too, if the girl's gonna make you wait that long every single day, after, so like first, second, third date, whatever. After we get to like date number 8, the dude is starting to do stupid shit to try to see if she likes him at all. And then, doing backflips and weird stuff. And she's slowly losing respect for him. And that's the issue. Like, go ahead.
I think, yeah, a year is a long time. I think, like, if he's doing what that man is doing, texting every day, and she's still not interested, yeah, I would not be interested. But if you're, like, trying to hang out with me and I don't really, like, see it, because I don't like a lot of people. If I like hanging out with you, eventually I'm going to realize, oh, wait, like, yeah, I do want to hook up with you. If there's no chemistry there, but so the chase in the way, like, always wants to be around me, like, makes me want them.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
if you're texting me, oh my God, like, let's go on a date. I want to take you out. No, that's
Right, but
that's a
here's
little
the
weird.
problem. If I would be like that if we're having sex every time we're together and there's never any like drama with it. If there's no drama and you make me happy, of course I'll chase. But the problem is that is so rare, and men just again.
Oh, you're not
I
a
have to
hippo
like
enough.
you
If that's rare, baby, you gotta come by and.
I feel like people
I'm sure we'll
people
find someone to
settle.
change your mind.
Of course.
I don't know. For me, I'm like, why are you texting me all the time? Don't you have work to do? Like, we have shit to buy. Like, come on, go focus on work for me.
I think 6 months is good.
Sometimes, like some people think if a man ignores a woman that he's being toxic. Shout out to Chris GQ Perry for all the bad advice he gives men. But a lot of times, if you ignore a woman, that's what she needs. She's just getting.
totally agree.
Okay, he does have other shit he's doing. He didn't keep texting me back over and over again, right? And then she goes and looks at his story, and he's like, oh, he's out having fun without me. Oh, okay. Hey, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden now she's in a better place where now she can message him back. She's in. So this is one of the things, I've said this before. It's why it's so much more important for women to contact you and the other way around. This is one of the reasons why I liked when Bumble did that whole thing. Because if I message you, we had a great time last night, and I message you and the next day you've got like a dopamine fatigue or whatever happened, or you had a bad day. If I message you at the right time and we just met and you get the message from me, you might tell me to go fuck off. You may have had a great time with me last night, but whatever mood you're in at that moment may ruin the future interactions. But if you message me, I know you're in a positive state. You see the difference? And that's why it's really important for men to understand man, you have to lay off. And that's why IG story is so incredibly important. Why I think it's like the biggest cheat code for men, because you get to see which women are watching your story passively. And I just cannot believe how many men don't use this. They don't use this. It's one of the greatest things. And you know what's even greater than that? The fucking close friends list on IG story. All you have are girls that like you like, and they're the only ones allowed to see your story. And then you just get to see them all just watching 10 of your stories in a row. And that's what happens. So instead of you I'm sorry, you didn't call me. I thought we had a date on Friday. What's going on? I don't like that you're not being accountable. Instead, just like, oh, fuck, I forgot we were supposed to go out. My bad. I didn't even know. I was on stage with freaking Deadmau5 at Excess. Did you have a good weekend? What'd you end up doing? I feel like a piece of shit. I didn't even call you back. That sucked. No, for sure. Let's go eat somewhere. Let's go get the caramel cookies at Herbs and Rye. Whatever.
There we go.
I'm just saying. It's like, but if you do that, it sounds like I'm playing a game, but I'm not, because that is how the female psyche works. If I'm all up your ass all the time, you're going to lose attraction for me. It's the human condition.
Oh, no.
And so I, as a man, need to understand that balance and let you come to me. And when you do, things are so much better. But if I'm sitting there chasing you for a fucking year and we don't have sex, that is crazy. That is crazy to me.
Well, hold on, Michael. I truly believe people who have been through therapy,
Which one?
people who've been through therapy, I think that they realize, or people who are attracted
Women.
like us.
You're talking
Like
about women.
everybody here who's had, there's always a 3 month, everything's cool in the first 3 months. And then after 6 months, you're like, everything changes. So I totally agree with people waiting 6 months. Like if I date you, you can't spend the night at my house for 3 months.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But the problem is how often I've seen that same girl not make other guys wait 6 months.
I understand that.
That's the problem. Does
But,
that make sense?
but if she's not and you're genuinely attracted to each other, then she understands.
I have to slightly disagree about some of this stuff because I don't think women want to be ignored. That's wrong. I think what you were talking about, it is a game, but it shouldn't be a game. We just don't want to be pressured. We don't want to be pressured. You should not expect us to have sex with you on the first night, the
we're
first
not talking
hour,
about sex.
first
We're
out.
talking about just accountability in general. We're talking about no call, no show,
Yeah, but
stand up a guy.
why would you want to be on it? Why are you going on a date with a guy that you would never have sex with?
Okay, so it's funny that you say that.
Exactly.
So there's
Yeah.
tons of surveys on this, Bex, and men never go on dates with women they don't want to have sex with. And there was one survey, I believe it was 50 or 60% of women said that they had gone on dates with men they had no intention of having sex with, and something like 68% of men have reported on dating apps getting friend zoned by women that they matched with. So women going on dates with men they have no intention of having sex with is actually getting to the point where that's more common than not.
Well, they're trying to be talked into it.
Yeah, well, you go on a date to see, like you said, if you have chemistry.
I know women who go on dates with men and they know 100 million% they're not going to have sex with them. It happens all the time. And you know why? Because the butter cake at Mastro's is good. That's why.
Absolutely.
Okay? Am I wrong? Tell me am I wrong?
I feel like we can all be talked into it.
That's
Max,
why.
I'll bet you if we dug deep enough, we're going to find a couple guys you've been out with that you knew you weren't going to have sex with. I can almost guarantee you.
Why do I want to go out with a guy that I don't want to have sex with?
Again, you say this, but I just know so many
weird.
women. Ready, lady?
You go out with them,
let's
and
try
maybe
this
you're
real
like,
quick.
oh,
the
I don't
other
wanna have
ladies
sex
that are
with
here, have you ever gone out with a guy and just knew you weren't going to have sex with him?
Yes.
I knew while I was on the date. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe let me give him the benefit of the doubt. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't like something. And then I get the ick and go away. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't take 6 months to figure that out, you know?
No,
it takes me about 2 minutes, and I know.
We've asked this question before, and about half the girls say, yes, I've been on dates with someone I had no intention of having sex with. It's very common. In fact, there's other surveys that show that women are going on dating apps with no intention of dating. They just want attention from men. That's what's happening. That's how crazy it is. And so
They want a free meal. They want a free meal.
Yeah. For sure.
I haven't been to Mastro's in a long time.
Oh, awesome.
The surest way to make a woman miserable is to give her everything she wants.
Bro, there's no other job in the world where you are going to be punished harder for doing everything that your employer says.
Well, the whole
being
thing,
married.
The whole thing
That is
about-
what-
the
you
whole
are
thing
going to
about-
get destroyed.
Well, the thing that gets me is like the whole thing is this guy's giving this down on one knee, heartfelt speech about like a cringe speech about how I'm going to chase you to the I'm like, you're married. You're married. That kind of like puts a period at the end of that sentence.
Yeah, but you
right?
can tell he's
it's
a
like at what
cuck.
point do you go? Maybe she should start chasing me. Maybe we need to change the dynamic of the relationship.
Or he's sitting there, I'm going to make you fall in love with me over and over again. She's not in love with you, bro. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, and you're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, I hope somebody clips this and plays this back for them in the next 2 years when they get divorced. There is just no way, unless this woman is totally into bisexual men, there is no way that this is going to work. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe. When I know not millions, I know thousands of women, and one thing I see in common is that they want their man to be stronger than them, to be something to admire about their man, to be a protector.
Women cannot look up to a man who's her equal.
Yeah, I mean, the other idea is like, again, Bex, if you and I were together and someone broke into the house, I'm getting the shotgun. I'm the one going downstairs.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I was like, hold up. I don't know about that.
The problem, but see, the thing is, while you may think that way, that may cause you to not have the ability to respect certain men because you can be more alpha than them.
Oh, I love to dominate men. It's no problem.
Unless they break into your house.
I'm definitely
with
more
automatic
alpha
weapons,
than
yes,
many men I
okay.
know.
Whatever you
I like
do to
alpha
make it
too,
better.
but you know, I could switch depending on the situation.
Switch.
You want to just next week,
honey, someone just broke into the house. Time to switch.
Go get the Mossberg, honey. I'm going to stay up here and I'll call it out on the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, Bex, next week you want to just take this spot and just.
That's so good. So many fun.
Let's just do the Bex show. I'm down for the Bex show. I'm really.
I feel like we should have a show based on just the topic of dry humping as well, because like the 3 months.
We just
or
need to
6
get you
month
on here with
thing-
Lindsay and.
Yeah, that's like weird. What do you do for 6 months?
Huh?
Like, what would you do with someone for?
You
that's
make
like just
out.
a friendship.
You go on a lot of dates.
like a
you make
friendship.
out. You
Travel.
That's
Yeah,
when
of
you
course
learn.
it's a friend, but she friend zoned him. That's the
It's
problem.
okay. Maybe you meet someone and you just want to be friends. That's it.
Yeah, but as long as you let him know, I promise you, that guy during the whole
If she's
year-long
not having
process.
sex with you for 6 months, I'm pretty sure he has to know that she doesn't. She just wants to be friends.
No, but that guy didn't know, because I promise you, that's what she wanted, was to just be friends.
That guy is a cuck.
Huh?
He's a cuck.
See, my favorite thing
I
about
know
this
one when
is
I
that
see
I
one.
did not call him that. You did. That is
Oh, no, for
exactly
sure,
my
but
point.
that's what he's
That is
into.
exactly my point. And I'm sure if they were to see this, because I didn't look at the comments, but I'm sure there's a bunch of people saying derogatory things. I wish you two nothing but the best. I hope you nothing but luck. I would be willing to bet $10,000 you guys will be divorced very soon.
See,
Not
see
if
here's the mentality of this guy, and I know where this guy's at, okay? Because he's one of these guys who believes that he has to chase and pursue, and it's incumbent upon him to maintain that, because if he's persistent and if he just keeps chipping away at that stone, he's going to finally get to marry where he is, right? He finally gets to marry her because he's finally hit pay dirt, right? He's finally got the chick of his dreams after having pursued, after having waited, after having perform, right? And now performance is over. He's oh wait, I can't do that. I have to make sure that she wants to stay with me. How am I going to ensure that she's going to stay with me? Keep performing, because that's the only thing that the guy knows. He doesn't have any value in himself. He only attributes that value to her. And so therefore, that's why he's always chasing. That's why he's always clingy. That's why he's like, are you okay? Are you cold? Are you warm? Or do you need a blanket? Blah, blah, blah. Like, he becomes this indentured servant, and he thinks it's the right fucking thing to do.
What's even more disgusting to me is the people who convince him that was the right thing.
Yes.
That's actually
he's
that's the
he's
worst.
there being trained. He's been trained to think that.
The worst.
Conditioned
man.
to think
that is the worst.
way.
Again, like it should be give and take, man. If you guys ever had a conversation with a guy and then you said something and he kind of came back with something witty and funny, and then you came back and it was this repartee that happened back and forth, isn't it great to have a conversation with someone who's your intellectual equal, not chasing you and up your butthole all the time? It's just so crazy. And again, I know women are all, I just want my man to be obsessed with me. I was like, then why aren't you married? Because the problem is when you find the man who's obsessed with you, you're gonna get tired of him very quickly. It's just like you put a box of crumble cookies in front of me, I want to eat the crumble cookies. I promise you I do. But after the
peanut butter
7th one, I'm gonna have I can't eat all these.
I always compare that.
There's a difference between like chasing and keeping it exciting.
Yes.
Like
Does
you
that
do
sound
have
like-
to keep it
did that sound
exciting.
exciting
You
to
do
you?
have to make sure. No, but I'm saying you do have to make sure. Like, there's nothing wrong with like checking on your woman and making sure she's okay all the time. You just have to like make it, a distinction between the two.
I feel like it's an appetite. Too much of anything will ruin it.
Of course.
Yeah,
exactly. It's exactly right.
Just like you were saying, I feel like there just needs to be a balance. Like, yeah, I want you to chase me, but I mean, I like my men older, so I don't want to see your story. I want you to not message me. And I'm like, what the fuck is he up to? Oh, sorry, language. But
No,
then
no,
no,
it's fine.
he's,
It's later. I want you to pay attention. Like, Wes, how old are you?
Media.
I'm 20. I just turned 27.
Okay, Wes is 27. She just said right now, I want you to not text me so I can wonder what's wrong. She is 27 and already understands her attraction triggers better than most women.
Mystery. Yeah.
That already understands her attraction triggers. And that's very insightful. And that's the thing, just being honest about that. I had a friend of mine, you actually know her. She's a huge real estate agent in LA now, but she used to live in Panorama, and we would go work out all the time. And she straight up told me, I like the bad boys. I ended up dating douchebags. I do. Hillary, she comes on here. She's like, I like the Guidos that have the fucking tattoos and what. At least they're honest about it, because that's how you can move past it.
You have to be self-aware.
Yeah, be self-aware, because you can move past it. Me, it's the volleyball player with a boob job. I just can't say no. I have a problem. You say no to ratchet, pussy, juicy J, can't.
Lolo does not like to wonder.
I have the perfect follow-up video for this one. All right, so watch the screen. Watch the screen.
What you're saying is, I have to marry you, make you my wife, in order for you to start doing wife things.
I mean, I'm just a girlfriend.
Okay. Okay. Shrika, do you want to marry me?
Yes,
Why?
because you a provider, a protector. You watch out for me. I love you. Why would I not want to marry you?
I appreciate that, and I love you too. So what you're saying to me is, those are the things you want your husband to do.
Yes.
So you see your husband in me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So the things I'm doing right now, even though I'm not your husband, you want your husband to do. And the crazy thing is, that's just who I am. Not because this is what I feel like I have to do. I do it because that's who Jeremy is. I'm already a husband. I'm just not your husband yet.
What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I was like, why does she expect him to already be who she wants her husband to be, but she can't be the wife that he needs to be? And my thing is like, if I love you and I see that we're meant to be together, I'll cook for you. I'll pick up for you. I'll even buy you like little treats that you like. Like if you like protein bars, like the chocolate flavor, I'll do little things to show you my love, because I want you to be my husband.
Will you dispose of the needles also afterwards when you stick them in there?
I will. Yeah. You want me to inject it in your butt? I'll do it for you. What do you need me to do?
That's my
like
dream.
I want you to see that I'm yours. Like, and it doesn't even come as like I'm trying. It's because I genuinely feel like that's who I am. I can be the wifey that you need me to be. But if you're not the husband that I need you to be, where you're working hard, you have jobs, you're making money, you're providing for me, then what's the point of this? And also, I need to work out because I want to be your trophy wife. Like, I want to look good. We both need to look good.
I want people to hate me when we show up at the restaurant.
Exactly.
Right. Bex, you want to say something about this?
Social media lately, especially, I think it's creating. We have like a new wave of kind of like the Andrew Tate women, like very toxic women that are just like, well, look at me, I'm here. So.
You mean women Andrew Tate is describing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not women Andrew Tate is describing. Like kind of like that mindset, but flipped. Like for women.
Oh, like the contrapositive of
like I'm here to do everything for me, and I don't have to do anything for you because I'm a woman. And I see both sides of it, because honestly, it's just a movement where women are starting to give back to the men what they've been giving to us for so long. And the problem is that women end up doing a lot for the wrong person, and it will ruin them when they find a good guy like this.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to anybody out there. I am not paying for the sins of your ex. Just ready. Yeah. You can put that on somebody else's credit card. I'm not fucking paying for that. I've had to deal with that twice. I'm not dealing with that again. I totally agree with you. Yes.
Therapy.
On that, like the whole idea is I dated someone toxic. Your relationship was toxic. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But one thing I do know is I'm not paying for his mistakes. You are going like I need, because I'm not doing the same thing. Well, I know some guys are really insecure. Maybe they're doing the same thing. We're all, sort of the victims of our trauma. But like at some point, man, you got to move on, or else there's just no hope.
I like you. You're cool. You're
But it has to be a give and take.
Oh.
You can't just be given too. You just can't be given too much as a woman, like right up front, because then the guy does not appreciate you.
Yeah.
Same goes for men, though.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let Alvaro, go ahead.
Okay, I think a good thing about the couple or relationship is like be honest in the beginning. If you want to fuck with me sometime, if you want to create your own relation, be honest. Like that. Don't keep with something that is not real.
Yeah.
So be honest in the beginning.
But what if you're different than anything she's had before, and the honesty, like she finds out later that like.
No, because some girls take sometimes the responsibility for create some relationship, and sometimes can say for the man, oh, I can give some water, I can cook for you. That's for me, it's like Why? If I do for you, why you don't need for me?
Right.
That's wrong. Like for me, it's like the. Yeah.
There's no
Like
such
you
thing
take
as
me out and I
relationship.
post your arm.
Yeah.
50-50.
So here's the thing. All right. So with what he said right there, this guy is there is a problem. While I do understand the dynamic, Rolo will tell you this too. He's trying to explain the red pill to his girl. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that doesn't work. While the demonstration, and I think that whole thing was scripted, to be fair, the demonstration of that makes a good point. In reality, trying to explain to her why she should be a good wife, you're already too far down the line. So for me, what I say is every girl I meet, let's say I'm considering dating them, they all started as 0, and it's like, hey, I don't know anything about you. And then let's just say 6 months go by and everything's awesome between us. Then they move up to a 1. It's like, I can trust you. All the things you say turn out to be true. Whenever I'm away from you, I want to be near you, and you start spending more and more time with me, then you move up to a 2. 10 would be marriage. You would move up the scale over time. What guys do instead is fat ass, smile, green eyes, big fake tits, 10. Immediately,
Boom.
10. Just give it all away. Yeah, what does Pimp C say? I don't pay for no pussy and my dick ain't free. 10. Just give it all away immediately on the fucking rip. And that's the problem. It's like, be attracted to a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But she doesn't deserve your, what's the word I'm looking for? Resources, commitment, affection, until she's done something to show that she deserves it.
Right.
That's
And
just
that's what that entire video was. I mean, you're right. It is scripted. It's it's a clip from another, a longer one.
I don't like that
But
language.
the thing is that the thing is this is that what that video was describing is similar to what we were talking about in the prior one, which is the guy has to measure up and do all of these things and be the husband that that woman would respect and would want to be with, and would you see your husband in me, right? Before she's willing to change herself into what she thinks a wife should be and what the husband thinks a wife should be. And so therefore she's not there. He's already there. And the only reason why she's not there is because she can't trust him, or he hasn't done everything on the, the bullet point checklist.
Or she's been taught that she doesn't have to.
Or she doesn't
She's been
have
taught
to.
that she doesn't
Yeah,
have to.
And honestly, she's never going to get there.
Yeah.
She won't get
If he's proved himself, then that's okay.
Well, in this case, hypothetically,
but
we're looking
really
at
any
improvement stuff.
male, even in the other species, like we were talking about, like the
No, wait,
man
the-
has to impress the woman. To mate.
The end of the point I was trying to make before is you shouldn't have this conversation. Either she's going to do it or she isn't.
Yeah,
you think of it like a side.
100%.
Yeah, you think of it like a funnel. It's like you're dating these 6 girls, and then this one she's there every day. It's like you can't. You traveled with her, and it was absolutely incredible. The sex was great. You guys really don't argue. She asks you how you feel. She doesn't tell you how you feel. She doesn't attack you. She doesn't accuse you. She doesn't exaggerate when she's losing an argument. She can occasionally take accountability when she's wrong, and you see that for a while, and then it goes on for like that for 6 months, and then you guys are away from each other for a while, and she doesn't fuck around with anyone else. She actually wants to be with you, and you do that for a while, and you're like, okay, now she's a level 2. Like, that's the way it should work. That's the way men should work. But instead, men are so desperate right now. There's a bottom third of men. They get no attention from women. They are completely invisible to all of you.
I totally agree.
These men don't exist, and these men are giving it away for free. And the reason why I know is because OnlyFans did $6.6 billion in revenue last year.
More than the NBA.
More, yeah. They did. They did more revenue. OnlyFans creators made more money together than all the members of the NBA. All salary caps for all 30 teams together. That's madness.
I would say I totally agree with you. Like, this video should have never been made because, to me, this guy had attachment issues. He didn't know how to let go. Because this video would have never been made.
And
if
had he
knew how
let
to-
go, all of a sudden she would become a wife like that. That's
Exactly.
the difference.
If she really loves you, she's going to be doing all of these things regardless. Like, if
Just like you were saying.
100%, you ring or not, she's going to be showing up for you because that's how it works. That's chemistry. That's love.
I know.
Yeah.
The
so
very fact that you're having that conversation in the first place, it's done.
Yeah.
That it would enter into your brain as a concept. It's done.
Why don't you want to have sex with me? Meh.
we all do it. We all
notice that when she said, or when he said, what is it that you love about me? Well, you're a provider. You protect me. Provisioning, protection, parental investment. I look at you as a future resource provider is what it is. You notice that amongst all of those attributes, it wasn't, well, you lay down some pretty good dick and you got a 6-pack abs and you got flared lats and goddamn,
Well,
I love having sex with you. That was not part of that. This is what I'm looking for in my husband. No, it wasn't.
That's like what you're saying.
The guy that she cheats on her husband with, that's
because women marry a lifestyle. They don't marry a guy. Okay.
Well, so all I'm hearing from the guy in that situation too is like, why am I not enough for you?
Yeah.
Why don't you love
How
me?
come what else do I have
Why
to
am I
do?
not enough for you?
But do you understand how it's a worthless conversation at that point?
100%.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to prove your worth to your partner.
And you also can't
Well,
convince someone to be
damn.
attracted to you.
Say it
You
low,
can't-
low. You can't
You
change
cannot
it. Low, low,
convince
low.
someone to be attracted to you, right?
Chemistry will
I,
trump.
I'll tell you a story happened to me. I was seeing a girl and she saw one of my videos that I actually wasn't on here. It was on a different show. I was on. She saw one of my videos, and in the videos, I'm talking about all this toxic stuff that women do, that men do, how to hide your location. I was talking about like using close friends lists. Her mom saw it, and then her mom was like, "I don't want you to date this guy. It's really terrible, whatever." Anyway, the girl, she basically like breaks it off with me. And I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation about it. She doesn't even let me talk about it. She's like, I think we should be friends. I'm like, I don't want to be friends with someone who isn't going to let me hear my side of the fucking story. Finally, I tell my side of the story, and you know what she says? She's like, I agree with you on everything, but I just don't want to go out with you anymore. I can't convince her. I can't logically convince her to feel some kind of way. Even if I win the argument, completely win the argument. You're right, baby. You are the best man I'm ever going to be with. She's still not going to have sex with you. It doesn't make any difference because attraction isn't a choice. That's the reason why this works. You do these attraction triggers. Logic has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it.
I think people try to make relationships work all the time when they should just literally just break up. I see on my TikTok and Instagram reels, oh, like love is a lot of work and all this and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, it should be easy and then like working from there. If you guys aren't compatible, just break up. Like
Not that easy, babe.
I actually agree. Trauma bonded. It's called trauma bond.
Not that easy.
Yeah, and then it
not,
gets
no.
worse. You could stay on the train as long as you want. It's going to cost you more when you get off.
Well said.
And so as soon as I saw like the triggers in my ex, I was like, oh no, like I'm wasting my time being here because I'm never going to actually be happy in this.
For
and like
27, you are very mature.
Oh,
I give it to you. Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as my partner started calling me names, it clicked. I was like, no amount of therapy is going to fix this. Like the trust is broken. Like you were saying, all those like levels. And then as soon as I was like, I would never want my partner to talk to me like this, drop down back to zero, and I left. And that's a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're like, oh, we need to work it out. No, babe, when your boundary is crossed, when you clearly made that boundary, go away. It doesn't matter how much time it was, go away. And if you leave sooner, you're not going to lose as much.
Well, not even just that. I just think like at the end of the day, you can't change somebody that doesn't want to change, and that's just the fucking reality of it.
Want to go to Mac?
do what
Let's
they
go to
want.
Mac.
Let's do it.
Let's go to Mac.
Is hot is going to be perceived as funnier. He's going to be perceived as having a better personality, as more intelligent, even if he isn't. More
Here, let me back it up. There you go.
guy who is hot is going to be perceived as funnier. He's going to be perceived as having a better personality, as more intelligent, even if he isn't. More likable, even if he isn't. They've done some really silly studies here. I mean, it's terrible, but they've put photos and biographies, kind of like a dating app, and mixed and matched them to try and determine the effect of looks versus personality. And there was a study on women where they did this. There were moderately hot guys, there were hot guys, and not so hot guys. And the personality changed whether the hot guy or the moderately hot guy was preferred. But no matter what, the not hot guy was not preferred. Personality mattered if a guy was hot enough. So the guys who were very unattractive, they were rated as having worse personalities than they would have if they were hot. And they were rated as less dateable overall than the hot guys. It is just one study, but there's other studies that converge on this idea that if you're past a certain level of hotness, then personality makes a difference. But if you're not attractive enough for a person's standards, then personality, it might matter, but it doesn't quite make a difference. Because it's so funny, I'll share the second part of this study. They had the women's mothers come in and were like, choose someone for your daughter to date. And you'd think it's like, gosh, I mean, the mothers are surely going to pick based on personality because they don't have to be with the guy physically, one would hope. And yet they went through the same selective pattern as their daughters. Now, from a social perspective, this is pretty hard to get your head around because it's like, well, they don't have to sleep with their daughter's boyfriend, so why do they care what he looks like? Right. But from a basic sexual selection perspective, right, from a biological perspective, it's like, well, that's their grandchild that they're talking about. And so they have to care about the same things. For the same reason that one might want a good-looking husband to have children with, you'd also want a good-looking man to help produce your grandchildren.
Yeah, and you do that because then your grandchildren are more likely to have children. That's the reason why. It's sexy son's hypothesis is what they're talking about there.
And
Anybody?
even Grandma knows.
Anybody here?
I would say I feel like every single one of us were made hot. We weren't born hot. Like we had to create this image. Like I'm a product of everything I thought was hot. So I wasn't born hot. Neither were any of us. Like
I think you can be a really attractive girl and not care that much about your looks and be like 21 and be super hot. I don't think it's I don't even think it's a mentality. I know a lot of guys who find some very vapid women to be very attractive. I don't think it's the same way. I think for men, you're right. I don't think it's the same thing.
Well, if we're talking about a 21-year-old Amish girl, I mean,
a 21-year-old Amish girl can still be beautiful.
Okay, I see where your type is, Michael.
That's hilarious.
It's not the Amish
You
girl.
only knew, yeah. 21-year-old
not
Amish
the
girl.
Amish girl.
That's what I like. Yeah,
Yes.
that's.
We all have our
go-
kinks. It's okay.
He likes the milk. He likes the milkmaids.
You know what my kink is? Heterosexuality.
Yeah.
That's my kink.
Yeah, it's gonna make a comeback real soon.
You know what my fetish is?
If you have
Having
to
sex
say
in the
that
bed
out
with someone
loud.
Very attractive. That's my fetish.
Yes.
It's this new thing
you
I'm
ain't about
trying.
that. You're not about
It's
that
so
gay
wild.
shit. I see.
Oh, awesome.
Well, I mean, we saw Alvaro's before and after pictures, right? I mean, you know, now that where he's at right now, he had to develop himself into the physique that he has.
Exactly.
Right now.
He was- yeah.
Yeah. Men must become, women just are.
Yeah, but what that guy was saying in the video was that you're going to be perceived as, you know, funnier
Yes.
or smarter.
Well, they don't even get to the personality part unless you pass a certain level of hotness, and it's
But
spelled
it's-
HAWT.
I don't think it's all external validation. I think it's, you know, when you are in better shape and you look better, you're way more confident.
Yeah, I think that's.
You're way more-
I'm sorry, honey. While I agree that
You're way more
is
confident.
part of
You're
it.
more likely to
There's so
talk.
many confident dudes who are not attractive, and you wouldn't give them the time of the day. Well, maybe you would, but like most people would. They're rich. Like
If they're
how tall does the guy have to be? $5 million. What color does his eyes have to be? $5 million.
Looks are the easiest thing to change.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I've always
I
said
agree.
it. What you know, your charming personality and your great sense of humor and your you know 6-figure income doesn't make you look any more attractive with your shirt off. Simple as that. It's simple biology. It's simple evolution. And I love this part. Like I've said this on a different, different podcast, my own podcast, where people will ask me, well, what do you think about looks? How you always talk about all you game guys, all you PUAs, all you guys, you just think it's about game and you think it's about confidence and you think it's about this, which is important, but you don't get to that. And I've said this, I don't know how many times, to looks maxers all the time who are saying like, oh, it's just about looks. It's just about looks. And yeah, it is. That's the barrier to entry. But once you get in there, then you've got to be able to seal the deal, right? It's the first thing on the list, but it's not the only thing on the list.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I think a lot of guys really can't wrap their heads around, because they think that it's just about looks and not about looks plus personality, looks plus confidence, looks plus God knows what else.
You're 28% body fat as a man, and you're like blaming women for not liking you, and then going to Colombia to fuck prostitutes and calling yourself a passport bro. Like that's like, how about lose the weight first? How
It's
about
more
lose
than
the weight?
28%.
Yeah,
Let's
more
be
than
real.
that. 30% body, and then you're blaming women, and it's like, no, dude. Like you can just also not be fat. You can also have facial hair that accentuates your jawline. You could also. I have no problem, dudes who want to get the fucking hair plugs. Do it. I don't. Fine. Do whatever. The beard transplants. You know, whatever. Do whatever you got. Go to Turkey and get all the transplant. I don't care. Get lipo. I don't care what you do as a man. My point is, like, there are ways for you to be at that minimum level of attractiveness if you really want to try to do it. And it's so often where I hear, like, the best example ever is the ultimate black pill guru, which is Wheat Waffles, who's actually a good looking. Wheat Waffles is better looking than me. Wheat Waffles is better looking than me, and this guy is sitting there talking about women don't give a shit about him because he's not attractive. I'm like, no, dude, your attitude is horrible. You act like a complete narcissist who's depressed all the time. That's what you sound like. That's the reason why you're not doing well with women. It has nothing to do with your looks. That's crazy. So often when I hear the guys complaining about looks, and I look at them like they're not that bad. Look, you know what's so confusing? When we're watching Adolescence, and that boy's like, I'm ugly, and I'm like, that is a good-looking kid.
Yeah, he's going to
turn
into a good-looking
that kid right here is going to be a good, like a tall, good-looking male. You notice how he was taller than his dad in the
Yeah,
show?
they
That
look
kid is
nothing
going to
like
grow.
him, yeah.
That kid is going to grow up and just be some stunning man who all women want to be with, and he's supposedly playing some incel kid who nobody wants to be with. I'm like, it's not nobody wants to be with you, dude. It's that you're 12. Chill. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's no one wants to fuck you at 12. Chill.
You're good.
It's fine. You know, I'm serious. I mean, yeah, some people do, but then we don't want to. Yeah, Epstein's dead. He was suicided.
Well, I mean, it's like Alvaro was saying. It's like it starts here, right? It's the mindset before anything else, right?
Yeah, that's to create the consistency for.
Yeah, exactly. So you can say, and by the way, what's your body fat percentage right now?
Oh, maybe 10.
Jesus
Christ. He's off season.
I know. He's off season. Oh my God. Okay, which one do we want to do next? Do you have a preference? Oh wait, let's do another Mackin. I got another Mackin here. Here we go.
women truly be just friends, or more importantly, are men only friends with women they find attractive / that have potential? Can they ever truly be just friends? Yes, but there is some research that suggests something quite suspicious, which is that when you look at what people value in friends, in opposite sex friends, men tend to value traits that they also value in opposite sex romantic partners, like having beautiful female friends. And when you look at women, what they like in opposite sex friends, they tend to like traits that they also like in romantic partners, like strength. And they wouldn't want those traits in same sex friends. That's important. And so some people have suspected that this is a sign that opposite sex friends are often just suitors, essentially, backup mates. So what I would say to this is that men and women can be just friends, but they often aren't, and they often function as something else, essentially, you know, a suitor or someone waiting in the wings.
I love that.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm
with
everybody's
everyone.
girlfriend.
I'm dating all of them.
I'm with everybody.
So
I'm going to Coachella, and I'm everybody's girlfriend here.
I'm gonna make a distinction that Mackin didn't make, and if we ever have a conversation, I'd actually like to ask him about this. It is 180% different, 180 degrees difference. If a man asked a woman to be friends than if a woman asked a man to be friends. If I shoot my shot and you reject me and you put me in the friend zone, we're not really friends. That's not what's going on. I shoot my shot and I miss. That's the friend zone. If I'm just cool with everyone and I'm hosting a podcast with like 12 girls and I put you in the friend zone, that is a completely different paradigm. So when we talk about men and women being friends, again, if you're a dude and you've been on a 12-month deployment to Afghanistan and you come back and the first girl you talk to is super hot, no, you can't be friends with her. You can't. You have so much desperation. You've been in jail for 10 years, you get out. No, you can't be friends. I agree. If you're a dude and you have a girlfriend and the two of you see women together and you have plenty of sex, it is not a problem being friends with women. It's super easy. I have a ton of female friends. Bex and I have been friends for years. We've been friends for a long time. We have a ton of friends, but the issue is, the reason why I can do that is because I am being validated by other women in other places, and so that's not that big of a deal. But the difference is, it was never a situation, and there's no girl here who will even tell you that I ever hit on them. It was never a situation where I shoot my shot and then you demote me to the friend zone. That is the difference. And here's the other problem with the friend zone, is that when women put you in the friend zone and they tell their friends about it, oh, he tried so hard and it was cute, but like, I'm just not really feeling it. See, he did that noise right there. It's a disease that spreads to every woman around her to let every woman know you are not sexually viable. If one girl in the friend group puts you in the friend zone, you are not sexually viable to any of them. Now, if you put them in the friend zone, you're viable to all of them. That's the difference. That is ultimately the difference. And the other thing I'll tell you is that when you're taken, when you taken or act like you're taken, men are about 30% more. The numbers I saw went from 59% to like 91%. Women found men to be more attractive when they saw the wedding ring. Those men were more attractive. Not that they wanted to sleep with them, but they found those men to be more attractive.
Those are unhealed women.
That is always the answer, isn't it? Whenever women do women things.
When are women ever healed?
Whenever women do women things, the answer is they're unhealed.
Certificate. When you get the degree in healed.
Always unhealed.
Or they've already been trained.
But being put in the friend zone and being friends with someone are two completely different things. You can meet someone and just be friends with them because you like them. And people that cannot be friends, and there's a lot of people that believe or think or how they act, they cannot be friends with the opposite sex. They're extremely immature and insecure and living in a whole different world. It blows my mind. And there's a lot of people like that.
For those guys that are out there, you shooting your shot and getting put in the friend zone is like you end up like the dude. I chased you every day for a year.
That dude has been in the friend zone.
That guy's been in the friend zone.
And when he's married, he'll be in the friend zone.
He's still in the friend zone.
Yeah.
And that's not the first girl to put him in the friend zone. That's how he's been trained.
How does somebody control
But if you're a man and you put her in the friend zone, that actually can lead to something in the future because you're something still she can admire. You didn't just give it away for free because you're so fucking desperate. You actually showed that you have some standard, right? You know, like you mentioned the other before, you're like, oh, all your ex-girlfriends are hot. You notice that, right? That's something that, like, well, that's something that people notice, right? I'm the mid guy that has the hot girlfriend that he was talking about before. That's why I'm such a great salesperson. But no, the same type of situation. Women will notice that, but I don't do this thing where I'm like, hey, let's hook up later. It's like, oh, you don't like me? That's cool. Let's just be friends. That is a terrible strategy.
Who
that
talks
most guys
like
try.
that?
That's like grooming.
So you mean there's a chance?
Weird.
I'd say most guys are like that.
No, being shot down is different than just meeting someone and being friends, though.
Right,
You're
but again,
shot down
What's
if
the
you're like,
history there?
yeah, it's one thing if you
friendship?
try something with someone and it doesn't work and it's okay and you guys become friends. And it's
Yeah.
another like, ew, get away from me. I obviously don't want to be friends with you then.
Right. But I think a lot of women are friends with men who are only there because of their physical attractiveness. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah. Like a lot of my female friends,
all
I'd
men
still be
care
friends with
about.
them even if they weren't physically attractive. And like, but that's because I have enough abundance in my life to where, and also like I remember when I had to put my cat down. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was putting one of my cats to sleep. And when I did that, it was just women who were supporting me because they're like, here's where you need to go. Here's how the procedure is going to work. They walked me through the whole thing. Having female friends helped me in that situation. And so with other guys, they're just like, I can never be friends with female. Blow me or blow me out. They go after the girl, and if the girl doesn't immediately like respond sexually, then it's like, fuck that girl, whatever. Or they wait in the wings, like what Mac was talking about. They're waiting for their chance to pounce on the girl. I'm gonna wear her down and be like, your boyfriend's such a piece of shit. I have this strong, I have a very, 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 very strict rule. I do not talk shit about a girl's boyfriend. I don't. You want to make her vagina wet for a dude? Talk shit about the dude. I wish I could pay a guy to go around to Powerhouse and fucking Fit Club LV talking shit about me to every single girl in there. I'd have women lined up around the block. All you have to do to make a woman turned on is talk. If you're a boyfriend and you want your girl, you know who you want to date next, while she's on the squat rack, be like, I can't stand that dude Johnny. He fucks every girl. What a piece of shit. Fuck that guy. She will be sleeping with him before you even
I was
know
literally
it.
just telling
All
Morgan
you got to
that.
do, dude, if you're a snitch, but there is nothing, if women snitch, it's not cool, but it's not that big of a deal. If men snitch, it is the most beta, feminine shit you can possibly do. Men do not snitch. And if I'm seeing a girl, I never talk shit about their ex. I just don't. No matter how much they want me to, I don't, because I know as soon as I do, it's going to make her be like, why is he talking shit about another man's dick? That's weird. That's
I got a
weird.
question,
What's
Michael.
is he obsessed with him? Is he obsessed with my man? My ex, she would be at Fit Club. Dudes would be just steady talking shit about me, and then she'd come back home horny as anything. That's how it works.
So I do have a question for you, though.
Go ahead.
So say you did meet a very attractive woman who you both established the friend zone. How do you control your sexual urges with your attraction?
Because I
with
just
her?
had sex with my girlfriend like 5 minutes earlier. That's why.
I know, but that for
Kindly,
me,
Kindly
that's-
Myers is one of my best friends. She is stunning, and we've never done anything. And I
feel like
don't.
that
And
was a
I don't
very
need to.
fast answer.
And Kindly.
I was like, hold on,
and
think about it for a second.
And Kindly has set me up with other girls that I've ended up dating. She's not just my friend. She's also a
Okay,
wing
in
woman.
a different situation, before you were so woke and conscious on how to date women and how to deal with your.
No, it's terrible. I remember I did a deployment for 6 months to LUD, and I came back and I was like, blah, 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 blah. First time I had sex with a girl was like 30 seconds. I was like, oh my God, women, I forgot what they feel like. I was desperate. I couldn't be friends with women back then, for sure. For sure. And by the way, I'm friends with a lot of girls who come on the show. We've had hundreds of girls on the show, and I've been really good friends with a lot of them. And I don't hit on them. There's no after the show. It's like, yeah, let's do that. Like, it's nothing. You won't find any text messages, nothing. But I've been doing that for years. But the reason why I'm able to be friends is because I have enough abundance to where that will work. Most men don't have that level of abundance.
I was just telling her that if you talk enough crap about your partner, it's going to make the other girls want to hook up with them.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Again, I wish all my exes, I don't want to say this.
I don't
They all
know.
watch. I wish my exes were like Michael. It's terrible. It's just every girl wanted to fuck him. It was just a terrible guy.
Most, I believe that like
I
most
would pay a
men,
woman to do that. That's hilarious.
like many men. Honestly, I think most men, especially in other cultures, they just don't respect women enough to be friends with them. They just see you as
Okay,
a
agreed. Yeah, I
sexual
see that.
thing
Yeah.
or a baby maker.
That's
And if
because
you're not that,
that's because
then-
most men are in a state of sexual deficit.
Yeah, it's sexual deficit.
That's what I was asking
Again,
him.
I want you to
But
consider
also the
everybody's here
cultural
right now.
thing.
You guys saw all those hot girls at Coachella. How are you getting into the VIP Coachella if you're with Bex? Like again, I ask you, if you're with Lolo, how are you getting backstage? It's because why can I always get backstage and you can't? It's because I have female friends. You guys don't, because you're like what you said before. They don't respect women enough to even consider that. There are so many. There's no greater way to meet beautiful women than to have female friends. There is no greater way to get into the back of the 10X conference, to get in the secret underground party for SEMA or CES that only the biggest entrepreneurs get into. The Hamptons parties. Read Ashley Mears' book, Very Important People. The way guys get into those parties is they had women with them. I've been trying to explain this for 18 fucking years, and I have been getting crucified for it, but you can't tell me I'm wrong, because I'm absolutely right. You want to know something? Every dude, sorry, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to just say it right now. All of you dudes who've been talking shit about me for the last 15 years that I've lived here, I know all of your names. And the reason why is because you run your mouth to girls all the time. And that's how I know. I am fully aware of which one of you dudes have been talking shit about me. I am, because every pretty girl you see, you run their mouth and you don't realize I'm actually their friend. You're trying to pay them to be friends. I am actually their friend. And they quickly tell me all the shit that you've been saying about me. So now I know, not gonna fuck with you anymore, not gonna do business with you anymore. I'll be cordial, I'll give you dap and keep it pushing, but I'm not cool with you. And that's the thing that happens. I know every single dude who snitches on me. You wanna know why? Because I have a bunch of female friends. And I will go to my grave saying this. You have more, what did that one dude say? You need more hoe friends. You
Hoe friends,
yeah. He said that, don't cancel me, you need more hoe friends are the best networkers in the world. It's true. If you wanna say, who do I know? I know one of my friends, she lives in LA. She knows more billionaires than anyone I know. Every time we hang out, it's a new, she's with some dude, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, which NFL team do you own, sir? Like, every single time. She is an incredible networker. There's a girl that I go out with in Miami, and I know if I'm with her, I never have to worry about getting in anywhere. It is effortless. They don't even wand me when I'm with this girl. And I just don't understand how men do not grasp this situation. In social engagements, women are more advanced than men, period. And having a bunch of female friends, you paid $2,500 to go to the Playboy Mansion, and I went for free. And the reason why is because I brought 50 girls. That's the difference. No. There you go. Sorry.
Bottom line, respect women.
That was the whole point of it.
If you don't respect women, you can't be friends with us.
Right. Well, you know,
be friends with bimbos.
I know people are gonna ask me this anyway, so I'm just gonna throw this one out there because like a lot of from the very beginning, you and I kind of disagreed about the female friends thing, but the thing. I've kind of revised that a little bit after knowing you. So yes. I'm just going to say that right out the gate. But the reason why I have is because one of the things that you said that kind of sat with me for a little while was I treat women just like anybody else. Okay. Yes. That's I think is the biggest difference, because guys who are in a state of sexual deficit do not treat women as if they are anybody else, because they see them as sexual opportunities, right? So when you are in a state of sexual abundance and you have lots of girlfriends and you have a really hot girlfriend or whatever, and you can become friends and network with them, but only if you are treating those women as if they are like anybody else, just like your guys.
Exactly.
So what happens is this. One of the reasons why I said that men and women cannot be friends is because we take our model for same-sex friendships and we try to apply it to opposite-sex friendships, and that never works. So one of the things I've always said is that women have boyfriends and girlfriends. If you're not fucking her, you're her girlfriend. And the reason why I say that is not because it's something, like some pithy thing to put on Twitter or anything like that. It's a stated fact, okay? If you as a man start communicating with your girlfriend in the way that her female friends communicate with her, her hind brain is going to register you as another girlfriend, and therefore you're going to be part of the girlfriend club.
Putting a woman in the friend zone does not mean you need to be more woman-like.
Yes.
My female friends, I talk about UFC and SEC football and the stock market and quantum mechanics.
And what happens
doesn't change.
What happens then is guys become very accommodating, because they think that if I talk and I identify and I become more like a woman and get in touch with my emotions, and I start getting in touch with my inner female and all this other crap, if they do that, if they become more, they identify more with the feminine.
Shout out to Derek Jackson, Justin Baldoni.
They're gonna fucking get in there, right? It's like, what do we call it? It's a sneaky fucker game, right? If I can turn myself into a woman and she becomes friendly with me and she becomes familiar with me and she's comfortable and we develop rapport, then at some point along the way, I'm going to be able to get a hard on, and she's going to want to be able to get with me because now I'm just like her. No, her hindbrain already thinks of you as another girl. That's why I say boyfriends and girlfriends. If you're not her boyfriend, if you're not fucking her, you're her girlfriend, because her brain thinks of you as a girl. That's one. So what happens is those guys end up relating to that woman as one of her girlfriends, one of her same-sex friends. What Mike does is he treats his friends as if they're one of the guys, no different than anything else, and that's why it fucking works.
But since he knows that, it's almost transactional. And if his friends know that, that's almost like us dancers. Like a lot of us we don't know how to date somebody outside without making it transactional and turning that off, like being an actress versus being a real person. And that's kind of like, since I know that about you now, Michael, that you have these friends that are just friends, I personally would be like, oh, he's literally only using me because he knows that I'm going to get him in somewhere. So like,
no, it's not that. We're legitimately friends, but my utility, like one of my good friends is Justin Waller. I love him like a brother, but I also want to solve problems for him. And if you started a podcast, I'd try to help you. Ask Lolo. I would try to help you for nothing. I would give you, be like, we're going to go, here's the Shure mic that you want to buy. Here's the video capture card you want to get. I would recommend this type of camera. I would do that because it's not transactional. I try to solve problems for my friends. Okay, no, the girls are not going to tell you that it's transactional. That's the difference. Okay, and it's just one of these things where it's like, if you have enough sexual abundance, it is not difficult being friends with women, especially when you're not attracted to them. When you're not attracted to them, it's very easy to be friends with women.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Jake and I are very good friends. We've been playing in a band for almost a year now, right? I would never go up to Jake and go, hey, Jake, it's been a long time since we've really communicated. I think we need to go to Starbucks and have a coffee and really catch up. And that you would think, what the fuck is wrong with Rolo?
Pedicure day. Pedicure day.
Yes, let's go get a mani-pedi. Yes. But see, that would be me relating to you as in like men when we have male-to-male friendships. That's our only frame of reference for friendships. But when we get into opposite-sex friendships, guys have to be more accommodating. So, for instance, if you've got a guy, for most men who are in a state of sexual deficit, if they become friends with another woman, they will start to accommodate the kinds of behavior that if he were to do that to me, I'd punch him in the fucking face, right?
Right.
Because it would be, that's how we relate, right? So there's this mentality amongst most men who are in a state of sexual deficit rather than abundance, who will be more accommodating of behaviors, more accommodating. And what happens is then, well, you just become one of the girlfriends at that point, because my only frame of reference for friendship is male-male. And for women, it's female-female. When you have male and female, that's a different dynamic right there. And one of those dynamics, male-male, female-female, has to be the one that sets the tone for that friendship. So when he is friends with women, it's the male-male thing. He's not going to sit there and say, I'm going to just put up with the kind of behavior that I would, that I wouldn't put up with one of my guy friends. So that's the difference between his reference and his model of friendship when it comes to opposite sex friends, because he's using a male-male model and he expects you to be one of the guys. He expects you to talk about UFC and fucking Texas football.
I love
and whatever, KC 137s or whatever he flew in the Air Force. He's not going to say, oh, I'm going to talk to you about the shade of lipstick you have on.
Okay, so this is the other thing. Being friends with someone does not mean you're nice to them. It often means you send them messed up memes and you make fun of them and you bully your friends. We do this all the time. And when I have these guy friends, they're like, I don't know how to make female friends. It's because you treat them different. Your voice goes up like this and let's go get a drink together. It's like, oh my God, tell me about this. Like, what happened to your voice, bro? Like, I don't understand why it broke like that. It's because you see her as different. That's the reason why. So for me, it's the same thing. If I have a female friend, I send her disgusting memes all the time. That's how we show friendship.
The only reason I ask is because I'm only 2 years into dancing, and like, I don't know how to tell somebody, hey, I am this and I get paid to do this, without them kind of judging me or having this stigma that I'm not like an actress just there and I'm a different person outside of it. And so that's why I was trying to get your opinion on like how to be normalized as a dancer and be honest with somebody like, hey, I do this for a living, but I swear outside of there I'm totally different. So it's not transactional for me.
So you can explain it all you want, and you will probably find men who are totally fine with that. Just like I'm not comparing you to Lily Phillips, but Lily Phillips, the girl who had sex with 100 guys in a day, she's not going to have any trouble finding a husband. I know people get so mad at me when I say this. I promise you, there are plenty of Simpson cucks just lined up to be. I want you to consider, like,
that is not your job.
How insane is it? The most insane thing about the Lily Phillips Bonnie Blue situation is not that they had sex with 1,000 men. That is not it. It's that 1,000 men were willing to wait in line
up
to have sex with them. That is nothing nothing else shows the incredible level of desperation of men, it should be that 1,000 men, you're man number 774. And you're looking over here at this dude over here and over there at this guy, and you can hear the sounds of her having sex in the other room. And then you go in there and her eyes are rolled back and she's just covered in sweat. And you're like, okay, here we go. I'm going to have sex.
They're probably high-fiving each other.
Crazy? Do you understand how low your self-esteem has to be in that place? I do, because they end up being my clients. That's what I end up seeing is like this incredible, they've just been taught by society that they're worthless. These men they believe they're worthless. And maybe it was a horrible divorce or a breakup or they got cheated on or whatever. And they're taught they're worthless. And it's like women hate to hear this because they're like, men don't suffer. Yes, they do. Men suffer a ton.
Come to the hippo.
Huh?
Come to the hippo.
Come to the hippo. You won't suffer anymore.
I was like,
I
you
think
are
we
worthy,
always
baby, and I'll tell you all night.
I think we like talk about how women need a lot of self-respect, doing OnlyFans and porn and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of men these days need a lot of self-respect for themselves. They're just putting out like that.
What do you mean putting out?
Like how you were explaining, like they just
Oh,
immediately.
okay, so the term what you're saying
They're getting paid a lot less.
They give too much sexual intent for
At all.
nothing. Not sex, not sex. Sexual intent. Yeah,
Are
I
you
agree.
saying they go immediately to like marriage? And I'm like,
Not marriage, but they see her as like worthy of as a partner only because of her physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah.
That's it. And so that's not good enough. Does she get along with cats? Right? There's other things that you need to look at before you figure that out.
Oh my
Like,
God!
even
You
though
mean
you're in-
women are people too? No way!
Like
really?
even though you're in a
My back is
humans?
fucked up right now from respecting
Whoa.
women all week. I have strained a muscle in my back from all the woman respecting that I've done this week. Thank you so much.
Oh. Okay, I think this is we didn't use this one on the last show. I thought this was
The life. Went to Cancun last week, fell in love with this beautiful Aussie girl, Annie Knight. But there's this guy falling around like a puppy. I said, who's that? Oh, he's just my best friend.
Okay, do you know who this chick is? You do know who Annie Knight is.
I don't know who she is.
Annie Knight is, she's, if there is Lily Phillips and then there's Bonnie Blue, Annie Knight is the next one, okay?
Yes.
So they're all three in the same kind of, they do the same thing, let's just say, okay? They compete to screw as many guys as they can on spring break.
I said, oh, okay. Then they tell me, guess what, baby? We're coming to LA next week. I said, let's go on a date Friday. Then an hour before the date, she says, Henry's coming. I didn't even believe her, but look, there he is, white shirt. But whatever, the date was good. We were kissing the whole night. Then after dinner, she says, me and Henry are going to go to another party. Oh, yeah. I'm like, all right, bro. Winners win. W. Henry, L. Ryan. And she starts kissing me. And she's like, who won?
Who won?
I said, you take care of your man. She said, he's not my fucking man. 48 hours later, they go on some BFF dinner. He proposed. She said yes. Now they're engaged. But here's the part that pissed me off the most. On their engagement announcement photo, he takes shots at me. I'm the winner. This guy right here. This is who I took an L to. And that's why my life is pathetic. Good game, my friend.
Bro,
Is that real?
It's so crazy. Yeah, no, listen.
That's Ryan Pownall.
Ryan is one of my good friends. Ryan Pownall, he's one of my good friends.
You should hit him up.
And yeah, I should. He's going to come. So when he's in town, he'll come on the show. He has the biggest adult porn podcast in the world. A Pillow Talk. I know there's.
You're on.
But Plug Talk is big. Yeah, I've been on. Yeah, we've been on there before. Ryan is. You know, I totally believe that. I do think he also knew who Annie Knight was. I don't think.
He knows.
Obviously, he knew who she was.
Definitely knows who Annie Knight is.
But going off and doing that, I like. It's one of these things where one of the reasons why he's so popular is he has no problem like embarrassing himself. Does that make sense? Like he'll take the L publicly and it doesn't bother him at all. Right? Remember his ex was dating Andrew Tate. Right. Like that kind of thing. He had no problem showing that whole thing up.
Yeah.
And so in that situation with Ryan, like seeing this, yeah, I absolutely believe this is true. But it is crazy. It's like the dude, she's making out with another guy that made him want to be with her more. And she also has like not to insult her, probably 800, 900 body count, something like that.
And the guy takes shots at him.
And then takes shots. It's like, I'm the winner. Like, you're the winner of MGen and syphilis, homie. That's the only thing you're a winner of. You're the winner of a very, very ugly divorce that's coming your way. Very ugly divorce that's going to come. And you want to know something great? It'll be great content for me and Ryan because we're going to laugh at you.
Laugh at
Yeah, congratulations. You won a porn star. Congratulations to you, brother.
You want to get to these super chats?
Sorry, we have.
We got to
read my super chat.
Yeah, they're your super chats.
They're my super chats. So first off, I want to say thank you so much. This super chat money will be going to the Peppermill Fund after this.
Yes.
You mean
shout out to
peppermint
CHP.
fund?
Huh?
You mean the peppermint
The
fund?
Peppermint Fund? I don't have enough money for that. That's not enough money. Shout out to Siege D. Yay. West is back. Simp Siege.
Oh, thank you to there was a Daniel Reed who emailed me from this podcast. So shout out to you.
See, yeah, I think that is him. Siege, join MOA. We love you, brother. I think he's been my moderator forever. Join Men of Action, Siege. Alvaro and West in the same frame are reminding me a lot of Flex Lewis and that blonde interviewing him. You guys see that video?
No, where
she's like crying.
She's
she
like
looks
biting her bottom lip.
Can I see that? I don't know who.
I should dig it. I'll see if I can dig it up.
Question from Siege: bench press or military overhead press? I don't know what the question is here. Which better? I think I like bench press.
Well, one's for chest or one's for shoulders, right?
I can't stop laughing at the Juicy J reference. Shout out to Brandon. One more from Siege. I mobbed this chat while doing decline sit-ups. That's funny. Hey, Sartain, why do so many guys not want to be accused of being a player? That's why I'm striving. That's what I'm striving for. Similarly, how if I'm not getting steroids use accusation, then I'm not muscular enough. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Most men who are listening to this, if women thought you were a player, that would be the greatest compliment ever. Women don't think you're a player. They don't think of you at all. Most women wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire and you're worried about coming off as a player. We elected a man to become president who fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant, and you're worried about coming off as a player? Are you serious, bro? Come on, bro. Like, again, you wanted Megan Fox, and the dude covered in tattoos wearing a pink dress is the one who got her, and you're worried about coming off as a player? What is wrong with you, dude? You should be lucky that someone would call you a player. Seth, depressed narcissist, Mike, sounds contradictory. Please explain. Yeah, you can be a depressed narcissist.
Oh, yeah, especially if you're a covert narcissist.
Narcissists are usually depressed. Yeah, you should look it up. Look up how NPD works. Yeah.
Me and Bex should teach it.
Having
That'll be the next
delusions
podcast.
of grandeur does not make you happy.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo Blanco. Hey, Rolo, big fan. What are your thoughts of getting from her girlfriend to actually getting action? Or is there no way to get out of that? Thank you for the insight. Do you know what he's saying here?
I have no
Guys,
idea.
we gotta put these through grammar.
Talking about a friend.
I think what he's asking is how to get out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
Getting from her girlfriend to actually getting. Yeah. If you guys want to go on that, the real easy way is to just start having conversations with her about girls you're dating, and absolutely treat her like a friend zone. When you see her, it's a fist bump, it's a high five above the shoulder, and it's a side hug like what you would do if the girl was fat. Like, do that. There's no like. Just imagine these guys. You ladies know the creepy photographer. Where's my hug? Where's my? You're like topless, and they're like doing it implied, and they're like, come. Where's my hug? Okay. Again, if you would come up to me and put your hands on my back and slowly let your hands go down my back and grope my ass, if that looks homosexual, then stop doing it to women you just meet.
Treat them as if they are guys.
Treat them as if they're guys. Again, I don't go dick to dick with guys, except Ryan, actually. He likes to do that. But I don't go dick to dick with guys. Again, so why do you do that with women? It's like, let me slowly put my hands on her ass and like this long, prolonged hug. We're just in the friend zone. Like, no, just treat them like bros. You do that for a while, this crazy thing happens because they're all looking around each other like, wait, which one is he fucking? Hold on, there's like 9 girls here. Like, what's going on here? Wait, is he? I know he's fucking one of them. Which one is it?
Because
like,
it's sexual abundance rather than sexual deficit.
Yeah, I'll go back to your place and hang out with your cats. Yeah, well, of course, whatever. It's not a big deal. That's what happens after a while. It's like women start, because you gave them space to be attracted to you. That's why that works. Make sense?
Well, I want to say something about that.
Yeah.
Is that some people's sex drives are more than others also. So
for the right people, that's the only thing.
Yeah, you want to know the best eating medication?
People.
Having a hot wife.
But also,
that actually helps a lot.
Yeah, the holistic.
You know what's really
works.
good about making your erection bigger? Not being fat. That is actually really helpful.
But also me finding that I've tried to date normal people like nerds. Like if I try to go for somebody like him or like somebody in my industry, I feel like I'd have a better chance of understanding each other.
How do you know he's not a nerd?
Well, I mean, we both could be nerds, but I'm saying like in his situation, he could be going after a girl that's completely opposite of him that has nothing to do with his lifestyle, and that will never work. So
Alex there's another super chat here. Alex has another good point. The funny part is most men don't understand how to respond when a girl deems them a player. So they deem it as a negative rather than a shit test. And that's what it is a shit test. Ready, fellas? Repeat after me. A girl calls you a player. You say, hey, do you see the bathroom over there? And then she looks over there. He goes, yeah, I just fucked 2 girls while you were looking over there at the bathroom. You play into it.
Nice.
You agree
and amplify.
Agree and amplify.
My favorite line is, thank you, I've worked hard to become
I've worked hard to become a player. And the other one you can say is, ooh, that's gross. Women have cooties. Do you understand how amazing you would have to be to touch my wiener? Disgusting. I would never be a player. You can be, but you do not play into the frame you do not play into that frame, because what the frame is, hey, I don't like the fact that you have sexual abundance with women, and it makes it very difficult for me to control the situation. Therefore, I'm trying to get rid of it. So I'm going to call you a pejorative. I'm going to insult you by calling you a player. Fellas, stop listening. I'm not telling you to be a player. What I'm telling you is a lot of times women are calling you a player because they realize they don't have the control that they normally have with most of the simps who come up to them, either subscribing to their OnlyFans, sitting there liking all their photos on Instagram, or hitting on them at the gym. They're used to control over those men, and they don't get it with you. So the only recourse is to call you a player.
I'm using all that game for
Just
when
one up
guys
here.
think I'm a hoe. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I am. I just got
We're done with
gangbanged.
Super Chats.
No, go read Seth.
Oh, Seth got one?
Let's see if it works.
Where's that? Oh, Seth?
Yeah, you skipped that one.
Oh, thank you, Mike and Rolo. After Reignite, I'm spinning plates, but they keep wanting the commitment promise fast. What am I doing wrong? So you're not doing anything wrong. If women are asking you for commitment, there's nothing to complain about. Most men are getting nothing from women. One more time, gentlemen, listen to me here, okay? Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Yes, they are. You don't believe me? You're going to jail. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You will go to prison very quickly, okay? We're not screwing around. Women, there's cell phone cameras that you will go to jail. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. So why then do you then make women the gatekeepers of a relationship? Men should be the gatekeepers of a relationship. Whether or not this turns serious, I have generally, what I found is when the guy's like, hey, Bex, what are we? I know we're fucking sometimes, but like, what are we? Like, where do you see us?
Are we
no.
Facebook official?
How much do you make a month?
No. How much do you make a month? Exactly. No.
What are your liquid assets?
No, but if she asks me what are we, then I already know where she is mentally, and now we can move forward. I can't let the woman be the gatekeeper of sex and the relationship. I have to be the gatekeeper of the relationship. That's the only way that it can work, so that we can have some semblance of balance. Again, she is more attractive. All of you ladies are more attractive than me. All of you ladies are more attractive than all of the guys at the table. And I'm saying that from the standpoint of you will get more attention from men than any of us will get from women. And he's a male model. All of you will get more attention than we will. And in that, we can't let you have that piece of leverage and be chasing you at the same time. And it's our idea to be monogamous? Hell no. And one last thing, I'm going to say this. Women who are not sleeping with you do not get to ask you for monogamy. Sorry, I understand. If you're Amish, Catholic, whatever, religious reasons, but they do not get to shame you. Women who are not sleeping with you do not get to shame you about monogamy. That is not a thing.
Unless it's like the first date.
What do you mean?
Like, are you are trying to court a girl to go out with her or be with her, and if you're talking to like 10 other girls, why would I want to go out with you? I'm saying in the beginning.
For sure, in the beginning.
In the very
that's fine,
beginning.
that's
In the
fine.
very
But
beginning.
After a while, it's like if we've gone out for 2 or 3 months and we're not sleeping together, you can't tell me to not talk to them.
Yes,
but I hear
in
women
the
do this
beginning.
all the time. I hear women do that. And the other thing, the other paradigm that's very Vegas-centric, and I don't mean to call anyone out, please don't throw anything at me, is the whole, I am a sugar baby and my man can't talk to any other women while I'm going on dates with other dudes.
Say it again, baby. Say it again.
Bro,
yeah, but
that
that's
is...
because she's providing. So he needs to sit there and take it. True. He's providing for the household, honey. You need to sit there and take it.
For other dudes,
if you could provide for her, she wouldn't need to be out doing that shit.
For sure, but my
really, you can't say nothing
this
to
is
the
like,
breadwinner.
It is the most Vegas paradigm I've ever seen. The girl has a sugar daddy that she goes out and gambles with, and he can't talk to other girls. Sorry, that's not going to work. That's the only thing. I see that happen I see that happen so often in the city
Hypocrisy.
where guys get pushed into that paradigm.
Hypocrisy.
And by the way, do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, if you're an MOA, I will shame the fuck out of you if you do that.
I feel like girls like that always, they have a guilt of doing it, so they settle for guys who accept that they have a sugar daddy, and that's the reality of it. Is like,
oh, I don't mind if you have a sugar daddy. You're just not my girlfriend. Yeah, you're not my girlfriend.
Yeah, but you have a job. Most guys don't. So I call them professional boyfriends.
No, you know. I mean, I'm not even going to say their names.
Yeah.
But yes, we have friend like the girl is dating. Maybe he's a male performer, male stripper, or something like that, and she pays for everything. And then she has sugar daddies. Then he's not allowed to talk to any other women. I'm just saying, in general, gentlemen, this whole thing where like women are holding sex over you in order to try to get you to behave. Move on.
I hate those
Move
girls.
on. It's not worth it. Move on. Oh, one more. 100 rupees, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, are you open to having a one-on-one with? Yeah, I'm not saying that name online. He's a okay. Obviously on Rumble, he's pulling 10 to 15K live viewers on every
Mike
episode.
tried once.
Okay, so here's the thing. We tried once. I know who you're talking about. The problem is if I even say his name, we're gonna get screwed on YouTube. He's a person who believes that thing in the 1930s and 40s in Germany that happened to those people never happened. He's one of those guys. And so I have his phone number. We're cordial. I actually met up with him recently, but I think me doing that is only going to harm. I don't know if it harmed his brand, but it would probably harm mine. And so we can discuss ideas, and maybe it was like a big panel forum, Piers Morgan or something like that. But me going on Rumble, I don't know if it's a great idea. I wish him nothing but the best. I absolutely don't agree with him. I think the thing in the 30s and 40s did happen, yeah. And I don't.
Cancer.
And I don't blame every single problem in the world on one small group of people. So that's the only difference. I'm not even going to say the words, dude. And you guys know better. Like I have 60 people that work for me. I'm not going to jeopardize my channel because we're going to have a conversation that legitimately would get me bad.
Brand cancer.
Yeah. But like again, no ill feelings towards him whatsoever. He's I just disagree with him.
Ill feelings.
Yeah.
Lots of ill feelings.
Okay, let's do this one.
Bit of difference between a model and escort. So let's break down the stereotype that not every girl who travels doing the great pictures and look good is a model. First of all, is a career proof. A real model has a portfolio, com card, agency representation, and work with commercial or fashion brands. With an escort, probably you'll see every month she traveling to Monaco, Ibiza and Dubai with a view on the Palm. Working lifestyle. Escort more focusing on the expensive lifestyle, for example, yacht, expensive dinners, shopping and expensive hotel. Models usually post behind the scenes content, for example, like fittings, castings and fashion weeks. Apartment part. Models usually live with each other and it can be even 10 or 12 people in one flat. Escort girl will live in the Four Seasons hotel and alone in the room. The way how they do pictures. The pictures are very sexy, even too much sexy in the very luxury place, of course. From the model side is raw, real, backstage life or very fashionable life and never very sexy. Follow me to know more about fashion and modeling.
Anything, ladies?
It's just like a given at this point. We already know.
Skirt girl.
I already know who's who.
Ladies, I'm gonna say something. I know this is gonna offend.
Skirt girl.
People.
I'm using that one.
If you have pictures of yourself in Ibiza by yourself, take them down. Even if you went there, seriously, you're Mormon and you went there to disciple to the heathens and whatever reason you went to Dubai. If you have pictures by yourself and you're not with your man in Dubai, just take them down. Like just do it. Dubai is a beautiful place. We don't have an indoor ski resort in the summertime in Vegas. I want to check out their indoor ski resort. I want to go skydiving in the squirrel suit. There's so many great things there. But unfortunately, when women travel there, there's a stigma that's put on them, fairly or unfairly, just like going to Coachella without your boyfriend, that gets stuck on you. So I would highly recommend ladies, I have women all the time like, don't you want a woman who's well-traveled? No, not really. That doesn't
But
no.
what makes you think we can't buy our own vacation?
No, again, maybe
I actually
you can.
do
You can.
travel
You can,
alone
Bex.
a lot,
Maybe
all
you
the
can,
time,
Bex,
and I pay
but
for myself.
what is every man going to think when you do that? I agree with you. I know.
I probably
know
make more
that
money
you
than
can.
them.
You're part
I don't
owner of
care what they
the
think.
Hippo. I know you can afford your own vacation. I agree with you that you can. But my question is, what is every good man who possibly you could date going to think when you have a picture in front of the Burj Khalifa in a bikini jumping out of a pool by yourself with no man? What's he going to think?
It depends on the girl. I truly think it depends on the girl.
I don't think it depends on the girl. I think most men are going to think that you're an escort. That's what's going to happen.
But if they know what the girl does, I mean. Like even
no
if
one knows what you do. You don't even know what I do. No one knows shit. You don't know anything. All of us could be doing, but I could be wearing a mask with a ball gag, and nobody clip this. But I could be wearing a mask with a ball gag and doing OnlyFans. Okay?
Tell me what you're into again.
No. I'm into heterosexuality. Yes. That's my kink.
If you have to say that out loud, I'm not so sure.
Hey, my favorite. What's your fetish? It's having sex with attractive people. That's my fetish. An attractive woman. Heterosexual sex. That's my fetish. Anyway.
Anything else?
No,
okay.
I feel like I'm pretty delusional. I'll be like, oh, they
we're
come from money.
gonna shift gears a little bit. Here we go.
Hell yes, I love this.
We can get for young men. I like the idea of restoring an aspirational vision of masculinity that can serve as a code. And I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning into your femininity or your masculinity if it feels natural. And for me, masculinity is, and I'm open to criticism here. This is a tough one that triggers a lot of people.
Here we go.
But I think the three pillars are provider. I think every man at the outset of his career should assume that he needs to take economic responsibility for his household. And by the way,
Or
sometimes
at least for himself.
and sometimes that means getting out of the way of your partner who happens to be better at that money thing and taking up the slack in other parts of the household. But
Not being mad about it.
and be supportive.
Yeah.
My partner, when we had kids, was working at Goldman, making more money than me, so I tried to step up. That's also being a man. Two, and this triggers people, being a procreator. I think wanting to mate, that fire of desire, can be channeled, if it's channeled in the right ways, to making you a better man. Making you kinder, making you stronger. For God's sakes, thinking about how you dress, showering for God's sakes. Being persistent, initiating contact. The scariest stat I have read is that 51% of men age 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person. And surveys show, distinct to what the media tells you, the majority of women still want men to initiate romantic contact while making them feel safe. Third pillar. You're a protector, right? Your default operating system is you protect. If you think about the most masculine jobs, cop, fireman, military, what do they do at the end of the day? They protect. Your default should always be protection, right? It breaks my heart that in New York, if you talk to women, a lot of them say they don't feel safe on the subway. Or if they see men walking down the street, they cross the sidewalk. From an early age, we gotta teach our boys that the transition to manhood means your default operating system is protection. And it's not just physical. It's if you hear people criticizing others behind their back, your default is to weigh in and defend. You may not agree with the transgender community. You may not agree that corporations need to have a third bathroom. You may not believe in gender affirmation. But when you see a group being demonized, your default setting as a man is you move to protection. We are providers, we're protectors, and we're procreators. There is nothing wrong with masculinity. It is a wonderful guidepost. Lean in. We just need to redefine what it means to be a man. You add surplus value. You create more tax revenue than you absorb. You protect people. You witness their lives. You register more complaints than you actually complain. And if you leave this earth having given more than you've taken, then you leave this world as a man. That is what it means to be a man.
Now, the reason why I'm showing this is not to debate the merits of the things that he said, because he's on the complete opposite side of the political aisle than Rollo and I are. The reason why I'm pointing this out, because that man went out on a tightrope right there. For him to be a liberal and for him to say that thing, I congratulate him. I would actually, because one of the things is Dr. Galloway is a very intelligent man, and he can't possibly, same thing with Richard Reeves, if you guys want to watch this. These men are political progressive. They're liberals, but they've come to the same conclusions that we have.
Can't ignore it anymore.
There's no way to ignore it anymore. They try to demonize people in the manosphere. They try to demonize, they call incel, whatever name they got to make up to call people, but they can't ignore it anymore. They can't ignore this anymore. So that's why there's another clip we have of Captain America. I forgot the black guy who plays Captain America. And he was sitting there going over like what the problems were with masculine men today. And I was like, that is incredibly brave for somebody who's in woke-ass Hollywood to say stuff like this.
Yeah.
The reality of the situation is men do suffer. And yes, in order for us to be a protector, what does that mean? That means we're bigger and stronger than you. Sorry, ladies. Sorry to be the one to tell you this, but we are bigger and stronger than you. And so because of that, we have a duty to be a protector. But in order for us to do that, you have to admit we are bigger and stronger than you. There are differences between men and women. I believe the ultimate form of masculinity is willingness to die for your tribe. That's for me. Willing to solve problems for other people and willingness to die for your tribe. That's how other people define masculinity in the form of how many sports cars you have and how many women you sleep with. I define it as willingness. That's why I joined the U.S. military. Willingness to die for my tribe. That's how I define masculinity, okay? So now, in this situation, I listen to Scott Galloway, and I'm almost like, again, he doesn't need this from me, but I'm almost proud to hear a man who's on the political left saying things that are true, and you see how many times he had to qualify it? I know some people are not going to like this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was like, he had to qualify it several times because he even knows what's going to happen. And if you read Professor Richard Reeves, his book of Boys and Men, he has same thing. He has to qualify it several times because he knows the people on his side of the aisle don't believe in any of this shit. Men are a privileged class. They cannot suffer. Yeah, well, what about the fact that most men are men are more likely to be victims of violent crimes and more likely to lose their jobs, more likely to be homeless, more likely to suffer from workplace deaths, more likely to suffer from taking their own lives. Yeah, none of that matters. If I went to Princeton, if I went to Harvard, if I went to Stanford right now and said, I'd like to teach a course, it's called Why Men Suffer. What do you think would happen to me? if I went to some Ivy League school and said I want to make a course called Why Men
your
Suffer,
tenure.
I would lose my tenure in a heartbeat because nobody even wants to have this discussion. So congratulate again. We did. He's a Harris supporter. The reason why I showed that clip is because the man is a liberal, and that for a liberal to come up to these realizations to me means it is so pervasive. It is Galileo telling the Pope that the earth goes around the sun. At some point, the Pope, the Catholic Church had to agree and be like, okay, turns out Galileo was right. It only took them 290 years to figure it out, but eventually they figured it out. Go ahead.
Well, the problem is these guys are really good at diagnosing. Even I said this when we interviewed Richard Reeves way back in the day. It's like they're really good at diagnosing the problems, but they're like, when they come up with some solutions, it's some half-ass bullshit solution, or else it's redefine. Their solution is just redefining the problem, right? It's all boils down to like social constructionism and the blank slate and all this other bullshit. And then what happens is the same masculinity that causes a firefighter to protect, right? To run into a burning building and grab the baby out of the burning building so it doesn't die. The same that same masculinity is the same masculinity that inspires those guys to go jump off bridges into, water, river or something, thousands of feet below that bridge, right? You go, well, that's pretty stupid. No, but it's the same impetus in that guy to take that risk to go save the baby, or to go jump off the bridge or jump from a high place, go bungee jumping or rock climbing or parachuting or whatever else, because it's a high risk thing, right?
I'm going to say something, and I don't think Professor Galloway would say this, but I'm going to say it to all the men out there watching. Your value to society is based on your utility. As disgusting and as horrible as that sounds, as incredibly dark as that sounds, if you live your life by that rule, you will find that I am correct. And if you don't live your life by that rule, you will continue to watch pornography and play video games in your mother's basement. Your value to society, not your value to your family, not your value to your pets, not your value to your close friends. Your value to society is based on your utility, not your beauty. It is based on your utility.
Performance.
How much can you perform? And when you perform more, what are you? You're a protector, like what he said. You're a provisioner, and you're a procreator. Those things that he was saying before, those things only happen when you as a man understand that you have a burden of performance, regardless of what Disney, your therapist, your church, and your mom told you. You have a burden of performance till the day you die, and you can disagree with me while some other dude fucks your girl and takes your job. You have a burden of performance. Some women have a burden of performance. All men have a burden of performance. Women can be the captain or the passenger. Men can only be the captain. There's no other way for us to do it. And as much as you guys want to, oh, that's not fair. I agree that it's not fair. It's also not fair that I've never met a single woman in my life who can bench press as much as me. We're different. Men and women are different, and that's okay.
And the way that he frames this, though, is like when he talks, I've said this a million times when I talk about female hypergamy, right? There's alpha fucks and there's beta bucks. The beta buck side is what? Provisioning, protection, and parental investment. He wants to call it reproduction or whatever the hell it is. It's the same thing. Be invested in your kids, right? So stick around for the kid. Provide resources, territory, and access to beautiful women. That's what has defined powerful men for eons, okay? So you've got protect, provide, and parental investment, okay? All of everything he mentions there is the beta buck side of hypergamy. Doesn't mention whatsoever the alpha fuck side. Doesn't say be attractive, be hot, sling a good dick. There's nothing because that's part of that is part of male masculinity. That is part of it right there. And when that is brought up, then you're an abuser. Then there's something wrong.
The only things that he felt safe enough to say were take a shower and go approach women, which is true. No, there are guys that are not taking showers. No, that's for real. And the thing is, he doesn't want to go any further than that because he's not a dating coach. Professor Galloway is not pretending to be. He's not trying to be a dating coach.
No, but the thing is, every last one of those things, protect, provide, parental invest,
yeah,
they're all investments that serve women. There's nothing. That's the thing that I hate about tradcons and guys like this. I mean, because he's a liberal, right? Yes. But if I'm listening to Matt Walsh, if I'm listening to what's his face from TPUSA. Charlie Kirk. When I'm listening to Charlie Kirk and they're saying you don't get to play on your PS5 until your wife is a woman of leisure. She has to have all of her needs provided for, and she's got to quit her job and be there. And then you can finally play Call of Duty, right? And everything that these guys talk about when it comes to male self-improvement it's not a male problem. The crisis of men, the crisis of masculinity that we have right now is not about guys. It's about women who can't find guys who are eligible bachelors who make enough money, who can make at least half again what they're making, because men ain't shit. So men need to be shit right now. Now you've got to protect, provide, and be parentally invested. All of those aspects serve one purpose. It serves a female dynamic. It does not, they want men to be better men, not for themselves, but to be better men, so it solves a woman's problem so that she has somebody that she can marry and she can have kids with and go off into perpetuity with.
That's why I lowered my standards recently. I realized that.
I'll bet you didn't. I'll bet you didn't really lower your
I had
standards.
to. All my friends were like, gosh, you really need to. They're way too high. And I was like, fine. If 3 people are ganging up at me, I'll listen. I'm like, all right, I'll
So wait, 3 guys at the same time?
No,
ganging
like-
up?
no,
Oh,
just
I was about to
friends.
say, your standards really changed. No, I didn't expect that. Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah, we have any more?
Yeah, we got.
Let's do some more. And then I'll read some more super chats.
Okay, no, good. Oh God, okay. I hate this bitch.
Sadia Khan, she made a video the other day talking about how men who have girlfriends who let them see other women, it's open on the man side and closed on the woman side, that those women are always cheaters. So what they say is the women of men who are cheaters are also cheaters. A man with several other women. It definitely happens. And we see it in the Bible. We see it in all kinds of cultures, all of Islam. What she's saying is patently ridiculous. But the reason why she has to say it is because what I'm guessing is somewhere in her life, someone close to her or her herself was approached by a man stating, hey, you're too busy. You're a boss. You're traveling all over the place. I need to be able to see other women. And she probably said, if you see other women, then I'm going to see other men. And he's probably like, well, no, why isn't it that I can't see other women? And she's like, no woman would tolerate that. Her narrative is no other woman would tolerate that because probably someone approached her with that idea. The reality is other women would tolerate that. But here's the problem. If her man meets a woman who would tolerate that, then he's going to leave her for that woman. So what she needs to do is tell everyone that any woman who would tolerate that is also cheating. Because imagine what a good deal it would be. Imagine if Sadia Khan has a husband and he's like, hey, I want to see other people just because you're never here. And she goes, no, any woman you see is also going to cheat on you. What if he finds a woman who wouldn't cheat on him? She's the bigger, better deal. And now Sadia Khan, her narrative is crushed. That's why women say this stuff, that like no good woman would tolerate their man being with other women. That's not true. I know tons of good women who would appreciate that. Most of them are bisexual. When you realize that concept, it's like, why is it that women say it? Because if it's not true, it destroys their narrative. All right, before we go on, Sadia responded to this.
Yeah, I think, make that announcement first.
So Sadia, she writes back, she goes, I'm speaking on behalf of high-value women with fathers. So again, women who would have threesomes with their boyfriend apparently don't have fathers. Your fatherless, jobless women may accept this. You're not from a Muslim culture, nor would they date you. So again, she's prescribing who would date me. And you're dating women who are liberal, with liberal sexual values. Only they are cheating on you daily. So again, I was a little disappointed that Sadia went that personal. She's telling me that I'm being cheated on. She doesn't have any idea who I'm dating, and I didn't even say that was about me. But she made it about me. I messaged her. I said, hey, listen, I don't want you to take this personal. She says, I didn't take it personal. Whatever. I was like, do you want to have a conversation? She's like, I don't know if the conversation would be constructive, and I really think that she's way off board on this. Now, here's the thing, ladies. Do you know any women out there who have threesomes with their boyfriends and don't cheat on their boyfriends? Anybody? Yes, you do?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you do? Anybody else?
Yeah.
me. I was like, no.
No? You
But
when
I
they
have
have
friends
threesomes?
who have boyfriends that are bisexual and they don't necessarily like it, but women can be bisexual and it's more normalized, which that is something that I was like, totally different topic, but.
Cheating and being open are 2 completely different things, though.
Okay,
so let's get that.
Again, so 2 people. I'm not talking about cheating. I'm talking about you have a man and he is openly seeing other women, and the woman is seeing these men together. I'm not asking you if any of you have done it. I'm saying, have you ever seen it done?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. So are all these women fatherless, liberal, sexual, fatherless, worthless? Okay. My point is, the reason I'm not upset by what Sadia says. I understand from her limited life perspective, that's what she believes. It's just like her telling, if she made a video saying, no one from the state of Texas could join the military. And I'd be like, well, I'm from Texas and I joined the military, so I know what you're saying isn't true. I'm not angry. I just have so many friends who are married and been married for more than 10 years, and they occasionally have sex with women together, and they're just fine, and the women aren't fatherless. in her comment, we didn't play the actual one. She said there's no example of this. Any woman who would accept this is fatherless. And my point is her hyperbolic statement makes that statement incorrect. I agree most women wouldn't, and I definitely agree that Sadia wouldn't. But the point is, I think the reason why she's saying it is because if she can make every woman out who's bisexual to be a cheater, then she doesn't have to worry about them as competition. That's what I think. Anybody have anything else to say about
I
it?
just feel like more people need to normalize, instead of it being a threesome with a girl and a girl and a guy and a guy and a girl, and the fact that the guys are dating,
Thank you for defining
and the
that.
guys
No.
are dating, and the girl, everybody's dating. Like the guy's dating the guy, the girl might be dating another guy, but like I feel like that needs to be way more normalized, because why do bisexual women get all this?
Okay, that's not really. That's not.
I mean,
That's your advocate for something. That's really not my point. My point is, I have a close friend. He knows him, and they're married, and they sleep with women together because she's bisexual, and she does.
She has to be into it. It's a different. There's a difference between
Yes.
a guy just doing what he wants to do what he wants, and the wife doesn't like it, and she just stays.
Again, but my point is going
They
back
both
to
have
this.
to be into
All
it.
of it in Islam, you can have 4 wives. I don't understand
Yeah, that's
why
what
she would say that. Like what she's saying
what
is
do you mean?
what I'm saying. It is not. I'm not upset. I'm dispassionately explaining to her that 2 + 2 = 4. What she's saying is not true. There are good women who come from good families who actually have sex with other women and their man at the same time. It is possible. Is it common? No. Is it less than 10% of women? Probably less than 10% of women. And is it not Sadia? It definitely isn't
And it's
Sadia.
not all the time.
But it's not all the time. But the idea that it never happens is incorrect. It is objectively false. And that's why I said what I said. And that's why I was really surprised when she started telling me women are cheating on me and they're the women that I date. Like, Sadia, unfortunately, you don't know who I date. You have no idea. I wasn't even talking about myself in the comments. I'm just making an observation. So anyway, I invite her to come on the podcast, not on Access Vegas, but to come on the podcast if she'd like to have a conversation, a high-level conversation talking about evolutionary psychology and the economics of dating. I would love to do that.
Can
You
I tell
gotta
her
have a
something?
girlfriend and a boyfriend.
I just want to tell her, it sounds to me like every partner she's ever had, she was jealous of their family's relationship because she couldn't have an open family that accepted her.
I mean, I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with that. I think a woman wanting to be in a heterosexual monogamous relationship with a man is not unhealthy. There's nothing wrong with it.
She was
in fact, I
judging the
recommend
family
it.
relationship.
Huh?
She was judging the family's relationship, though, of somebody who would do that.
Yeah, I do think that's really a cop out when a woman does something you don't agree with. It's because they don't have a father. That's always. By the way, men.
Well, it's emotional language.
Yeah, but by the way, she's doing it. Most of the time, it's men who are saying this. Anytime you strip, well, it's obviously because you don't have a father. You do porn, obviously because you don't have a father. No, some people just like doing porn. I'm not saying. Like, some people just. I know some people. Again, I have some friends of mine who are porn stars, and they came from they went to a Catholic school. Both parents in their life. There's just something in their head where they have super high testosterone or something that just made them want to do it. I don't want to marry them, but I understand why they did it. And it's so reductive. It's like, I can't figure out this complicated issue, so I'm just going to say it's because they don't have a father. Like, that's the thing. And it's very reductive.
What it is
thinking.
it reframes the argument is what it does.
She needs to join the BDSM
I told this to Myron Gaines a few times. Whenever women get to the and guys too, I shouldn't just say women, but like when anybody gets to the point where they have nothing left of a rational, reasonable, cogent argument, what they do is they change the frame of the frame of the conversation. So they're having this empirical conversation about facts, figures, stats, this research, that research. When you run out of gas, that's when it's who hurt you. Did you have a father?
Like you said,
have you ever fell in love? You should go touch
Sometimes
grass.
it's obvious,
You know,
but
it's
people are
always
people.
so what happens is when you hear who hurt you or whatever, that's the reframe from an empirical argument into an emotional argument. And so now it's become are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? Rather than are you right or are you wrong?
Some people will call that manipulative, but I disagree.
Well, yeah, it's manipulative because you basically redefine the outline or the details of the argument. Yeah, you've changed the argument.
When someone doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mean that they all have a mental disorder. Like, I think Scott Galloway. I think Scott Galloway.
Nobody thinks like you.
I think Scott Galloway and Richard Reeves are really intelligent guys who don't agree with my beliefs. One of my closest friends is T.C. Fleming, and he is basically a socialist. I don't think he'd mind me calling him that. He's basically a socialist, and we're still friends, and we play Madden together, and we're still cool. And I don't think he has a mental disorder because he disagrees with me. We just have a fundamental disagreement on what would make the world better. That's all it is. But so again, when a woman doesn't agree with me, I don't say she's fatherless. That's a cop out. She might disagree with me because she's a narcissist, borderline personality disorder, or she just grew up in a household where she thinks anything other than traditional marriage and traditional monogamy between heterosexual people is wrong, and any sort of deviation from that is nothing but sin. And maybe that's what she was taught. And that doesn't make you, well, it makes you irrational, but it doesn't make you, it doesn't mean you have a mental disorder because that's happened, and it doesn't mean you don't have a father. That's the other thing.
Yeah, people like to do like a red herring fallacy to distract away from the main issue, to make it themselves feel better, like saying, oh, like, it's because you're fatherless, like Sadia said. You're totally missing the point of what's going on, and you're misleading where the conversation is going.
Sadia, you missing out, girl. Let me tell you, you just haven't had enough fun.
She's all, that girl is all hype, man.
The thing is, yes, I have seen just more than maybe 50 examples where a girl, it's like literally her idea to bring women home, and there is a father in their life. It's not that. It's just some way, again, it's outside of my reality. Like I can't empathize with a man who's homosexual because I don't find men attractive. I truly, like, I know that it exists, but I can't feel it. I just can't. And for a heterosexual woman who would never want to be with a woman, she can't feel that either. Yeah. So because she can't feel it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool.
And sometimes you don't know what you like until you try it.
Bingo.
So everyone should try at least once.
Come to the hippo.
Bring your father.
Come to the hippo and bring your father.
To the hippo week.
Bring the whole family.
Bring
It's
your
only
father's
awkward if we make
been
it.
hippo.
All right, last one.
Tell her to bring her dad.
This is going to change your mind about Richard Reeves, by the way.
That moment of my, it took that moment of my incredibly feminist, unbelievably professionally successful wife to say, I think the problem is you're not masculine enough. And it was just like the energy that I had. I felt as if like asking for more in our relationship for myself was to be a bad feminist, was to not support her. I was supposed to be a good ally. The world was made for men and all our needs and desires and so on. So my job was to be an ally to her. And anything that got in the way of that was difficult or complicated. And it was, well, I don't know what would have happened to our relationship without it, but I can tell you that from that moment onwards, our relationship grew and flourished and continues to flower in a way that it just would not otherwise have done, because it's almost like by being so direct, she forced this movement inside me where I almost gave myself permission to give some expression to the sides of myself that are more masculine.
Okay.
She has to give him permission.
I already know what you're gonna say. But if you've ever met somebody, hold on.
I've already responded.
If you've ever met someone who's like he's Israeli but can see the plight of the Palestinians, or Palestinians and can see the plight of the Israelis, when you see people like that can be empathetic to the other side, because it's so hard to be empathetic to the other side when you're surrounded by something. Richard Reeves is a British citizen who grew up who went through academia. There is nothing more liberal or social, like the median, like in other European countries, what we consider to be moderate, they consider to be hardcore right wing. They're far more to the left. So for him to be completely surrounded by, again, his wife who's a feminist, and for him to be an academic, and for him to at least be open enough to this realization that he doesn't need permission from his wife, I'm just proud of him. Because to be fair, like, again, it goes back to the same thing I was saying about Scott Galloway. For him, Scott Galloway, to say what he said on The View, they were ready to shoot arrows and hit him with pitchforks. For him to actually, men need to be more masculine? How dare you? Like, that's what I expected all the Karens to say when he said that. And for Richard Reeves to say this is a conclusion that he's come to that you and I can't. But by the way, there was a period when I didn't have this conclusion. I didn't understand this. I was managing a strip club, and I thought I just need to make all these girls happy, and then one of them will love me. I was just as confused. It's just at some point you do come to that realization, and I'm proud that he came to the realization at some point, and it's probably going to make, well, he even said it, it's going to make his marriage way more fruitful. So at least, listen, I don't know how you came to the kingdom of God, but at least you got here somehow. And so I'm happy that, because I actually like Richard a lot, I'm very happy that he came to that realization. But for you and me, it's going to seem obvious. And yes, of course, you don't need your wife's permission to be masculine.
Well, it wasn't even, actually, the way I approach it was this, is that it was his very super feminist wife who was so
that's another point.
So deprived of this, dominance, this masculine that she was craving. And it's like, the reason why he said, it probably saved our marriage is because if he was unwilling to give that level of masculine dominance to her, she would have found it outside the marriage. That's basically what he's saying right there.
So here's the thing, and I'm not saying this about Richard Reeves' wife because I don't know anything about his wife. What I'm saying is I have seen some women, the reason they become feminists is because they're so uncomfortable with their desire for masculinity.
Right.
They really do find masculine men very attractive, and it unnerves them to the point that they turn into feminism. That's what it's very similar to a closeted homosexual man who hates gays. It is a closeted woman who desires masculine men who becomes a feminist, acting as if she hates them. And it gets to the point where it's like her biology. Again, there's a reason why lesbians have a 78% divorce rate, and the reason why they have a 78% divorce rate generally is because one of the two partners has a baby. Once she has a baby, all of a sudden these
maternal instincts
these internal instincts come in, and she's looking at her butch wife, and then looking at the baby, and looking at the butch wife, and then seeing the doctor with his big fucking arms, and is like, wait a second, something's wrong here, and then the divorce happens. One of the biggest precipitators of divorce in lesbian relationship, in lesbian relationship is when one of the two partners has a child. And so that's essentially what's happening. But anyway, this whole thing happens. Like for Professor Reeves to even come to this realization is a miracle. To be fair,
yeah.
Miracle.
Coming to the realization is not really the point I was being. I like Richard. We've had him on the show.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is like it takes that level of, I'll say crisis, trauma, whatever, for her to say, I need you to be more masculine because I know I'm a feminist, but my base human nature needs this out of you, and I don't care about the blank slate, social constructionism, emotionalism, egalitarianism, and all this bullshit that you guys have swallowed for the last, since the sexual revolution, right? And thinking that that's what's going to make for a better life, make for better, I'm going to call you my partner.
She doesn't need an ally. She needs a husband.
Yeah, well, and then the reason I put that on there is because it's such a common story that like really sort of dyed in the wool feminists come to the realization that, you know what, I would rather date a guy who's more dominantly masculine because they get shit done, because they got the big arms and whatever else, right? And so suddenly all of that, the realization, the real miracle is that the wife came to that conclusion herself.
Yes.
Because it's basically like renouncing your religion. Your religion is feminism, but like, you know what? If I say I need a more masculine guy, and this is the guy I married, and he's not the most masculine guy in the world, now I feel like maybe I need to go a step outside the marriage to find that. Well, before I go and do that, I'm going to ask my guy to like step up and go get in the squat rack. You want to read this last one, here?
All right, last super chat here from Seth. So if they won't accept not getting the girlfriend title, drop the plate, or am I missing game here? So if they won't accept not getting the girlfriend title, drop the plate. It's kind of up to you, but one thing you'll find is that if you maintain your frame, she's probably going to stick around even if you don't give her the girlfriend title.
It's all about frame.
Yeah, it really is just about the frame. Like, you're so concerned with the words. Rule number 1 in Men of Action, we don't listen to the words. We only pay attention to people's actions.
Behavior.
And it's very, very obvious to me several times where I told a girl very clearly, I'm not interested in being in a relationship, and she stuck around for 2.5 years. And I'm not saying, like, again, that just happens. But the reason why it happened is because I didn't accept the frame. That's what happened.
This one's great.
All right, Michael, my problem is...
read this one, that one.
Oh, let me get to that. Yeah. Michael, my problem is I'm only attracted to girls who look like top-tier strippers. I feel like I'm screwed. Shout out to Raj.
Raj here.
Shout out to Raj. Raj is probably like the most participatory
awesome.
Men of Action member. And Raj, you know what? The first solution to solving the problem is admitting that you have a problem. So yes.
Why is it a problem?
You say no to ratchet pussy. Raj cannot. Raj cannot
That's
say
a fucking
that.
problem.
Shout out to Raj. Buffalo Blanco. So new to this. What do they mean by putting yourself in a position to choose to be monogamous or polygamous? And how does a female know whether you have those options? Thanks. New to this. So what do they mean by putting yourself in a position to choose? So here's the thing. What I said is choosing when being the gatekeeper to the relationship. If you choose to be polygynous with a girl and she doesn't accept it, you're just not going to be polygynous. One of the biggest problems I have with my program is guys who come to me with their heterosexual wives trying to have threesomes, and I'm like, it's not going to happen, dude, unless you go and you guys take a fuck ton of Molly and do mushrooms, and maybe she's going to be down for it once. And by the way, she'll probably really enjoy it. But the problem is The problem is, it's like if
Drugs
you
are the solution.
again. So here's the thing. Here's what I would say. I would go to a guy and be like, hey, if your girlfriend Sarah comes up to you and says, hey, listen, I love you so much, and I just want to know that in order for you to show that you love me, I need you to suck my friend John's cock. Nobody clip this. I need you to suck my friend John's cock. Dude, that would show me that you love me. And I asked men, I was like, what would you do in that situation? And they all say, fuck no, I would never do that.
I do that all the time.
So why are you asking your straight wife to fuck a woman? Okay? Like, she has agency in her heterosexuality or her bisexuality. What I'm saying is, if she is bisexual, like very bisexual, you won't be able to stop her from having threesomes. That's the difference. And that's, again, what Sadia doesn't understand. You won't be able to stop her from having threesomes. Though, like, one of the girls I was dating, if I told her, hey, I just want to let you know, we're going to be monogamous and I don't want you seeing other women, she'd be like, go fuck yourself, buddy. I'm going to go see women. She wanted to see me and see women, and I was totally fine with that. Some people consider that cheating. I do not. I do not see relations between women and other women as being on the same plane as heterosexual relationships. And the reason why is because the data supports what I'm saying. The dopamine or oxytocin release that happens when a man has sex with a woman does not happen when a woman has sex with a woman. But the orgasm could still happen, but the oxytocin release is not the same. And that's the reason why I have no compunction whatsoever if my girlfriend wants to see women.
Is that the reason, or you just want to watch?
I mean, I don't
Or
mind
join.
watching. I mean, I want to be in it. I don't want to just watch.
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna say I've
Yeah.
mostly
Well, the
only dated
oxytocin.
women. I'm like butts. I can come on a dick. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just gonna say every girl I've ever dated, I let them know in the beginning, hey, I understand that we are mammals. So if you crave cock 5 years from now, I'm not gonna judge you. And if I do, please don't judge me either. You know, even though most men are BV carriers nowadays, which is why I've been celibate from dick.
You know, there's a vaccine now.
Because they don't take showers
Trust me,
anymore.
I've been in the adult industry for a while, so I know about boric acid. I know about
Yeah.
all that stuff. But like, I'm just saying, for the most part, if I date an attractive man like yourself who gets puss regularly, or if you tell me, hey, I'm active and like my partner said it's okay, you're gonna give me BV. You're gonna throw my pH off. So like,
Oh,
you know.
you said bacterial vaginosis. I thought you said HPV. Sorry, my bad. Yes, bacterial vaginosis. Again, fellas, when you have a threesome,
Strap up.
both girls need to go pee right afterwards. Okay, I'm just telling you.
Both of
Not
you.
that I would
Get
know.
up. Go.
I am a man of God and have never done anything like it. I'm just telling you.
I would never.
After you have sex
I
with
could never.
two women, that you need to all go with cranberry juice. Everyone needs to piss. I don't care how good the fucking Tusi was. You need to go pee.
Take a
after-
shower,
after this.
please.
Take a shower, exactly.
Please.
Marcellus Wallace wants to ask, have you always voted for the GOP, Rolo?
No.
Really? When did you not vote for the GOP?
Well,
How old were you?
I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump, and I voted for Trump. So those were the.
Those are all GOP.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying,
yeah. I know.
was there ever a
but,
point where you did?
Yeah, before like. I voted for
The
the guy.
90s?
I voted for gosh, when did I start?
Maybe
voting?
Clinton or something like that?
Clinton was the first one I voted for.
Yeah.
And then Bush. I was just voting against whoever I thought was the worst at that point.
Yeah.
I never vote
Yeah.
for anybody. I
Yeah.
vote against the other.
Yeah, my
guy.
first time was 04 in Bush. That was the first time I ever voted
Yeah.
in a political election. Yeah. And you know what?
How old are
He was
you?
my boss.
Yeah.
In 04, I was 27 years old. Yeah. Okay.
This one's great.
Brandon, Michael.
Finally.
Here we go.
Here we have
Here
a
we
real
go.
question.
Here we go. Right. Hey, Michael, how much does your male guest bench press these days? Just curious.
Alvaro,
What's your
how
bench
much you
press?
bench press? I think I know.
Like the 120 kilogram. It's not
120 kilograms. So that's
120
200
times 2.2.
2.2. So that's well,
I've seen you bench 3 plates. You can
Okay,
do 305.
220.
You can do 305.
3 plates. So that's 315.
Yeah, but sometimes like my focus is more like that's just powerlifting.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of bodybuilders say. They don't really do a lot of heavy weight. They might do 225 and might do like 10, 15 reps. So yeah, so he's probably saying around 305 is
Did
what
you
he
know
can
that,
do.
like, and I don't know if this is true, but maybe you could tell me, that only 16% of the American population, like men or I guess women too, can bench 225? Like
No. It's not. It's nowhere near that high. No, it's nowhere near that high. Of men who go to the gym, it's 3%. Of men who go to the gym, only 3% of them can bench press 225 pounds. Yeah, I was reading that.
Tragic.
I was reading that stat. It's have you seen that? You see that clip? One clip. It was like, how does it feel the first time you bench press 225? And then they show that black dude. He goes, "I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men anymore." Have you seen that shit? It's really funny. Yeah. I remember 225. I remember being 17 17 years old also, or 16. Yeah, no, but it's 3% of gym goers can bench press 225. That means it's like less than 1% of the male population can bench press 225 pounds.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, that's a little bit over 100 kilos. Most men cannot bench
like my
100.
working weight.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of these things. But you know, they don't even do. I think they're getting rid of the bench press on the combine because it really isn't a great description. But for men, it was more like a rite of passage, especially in the 80s and 90s.
Well, yeah,
huge rite of passage.
Yeah, when you're high school and you're like 16, you bench 225.
You always remember the first time you bench pressed 225. I absolutely remember being in the gym. I was either 16 or 17.
Then you want to get in the 315 club.
Yeah, you want to go to the 315 club. Yeah. For sure. Then we have right here,
Alex.
Michael. Now hold on a second. We did.
Yeah, it's Alex. Yeah.
Alex. Michael, I've now met a few stunning girls in the U.S., and when I get their Instagram, it's funny that we have a mutual friend, you, even though we have never met. Thank you for being a mentor over the years.
You're the one mutual friend.
Yes. Do pretty girls follow me? I did not know that. That's crazy. And then Raj, once again, Michael, where do I find the girl that looks like top tier strippers and aren't? Ha ha ha. I have an answer for you. I have an answer for you. But the answer is, gosh, I shouldn't even give this away. No, the answer is pageants. Pageants are the greatest. The girls who go to do pageants, they're never huge social media influencers. They never have a lot of tattoos. They are always pretty young, and they're generally like, I highly recommend any kind of pageants. I host Swimsuit USA, and I met my last girlfriend there, and I'm telling you right now, it's like the boxes you have to check to do that. Like, they're just some of the coolest, most down-to-earth women I've ever met are girls who do pageants. I'm not talking about like wet t-shirt contests. I'm talking about actual, they have to answer questions in front of people and wear an evening gown. Pageants and those pageants, I think, are absolutely the best way, the single best way to meet a woman that you want to date long term.
Alexa,
and
I love you.
And I'm hosting Swimsuit USA's Las Vegas preliminary this September, and then the winner of my preliminary goes to the finals in end of October in Mexico.
My daughter has been a pageant girl for her whole life.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right,
Anything
we're done.
else?
That's
Beautiful.
us.
All right, thank you guys. You guys can meet us at the Peppermill if you want to come hang out with us later. It was really good to see everybody.
Spearmint Hippo.
Oh, wait, we're going to the Peppermint Hippo.
The Peppermint Hippo.
Almost got us.
Spearmint Hippo, yeah.
Peppermint Hippo.
Sorry.
Almost got us in a loss.
We already in the
Well, if you
loss.
wouldn't make the damn names so goddamn simple, that's
Almost
why
got
they
us
do it.
Almost got us in a lawsuit.
Yeah, that
real
was
quick.
Peppermint Hippo.
By the way, thank you guys from the Peppermint Hippo for coming here. CH3, we had
Spearmint
several girls from
Elephant.
there. All you guys, obviously Sapphire. You guys, I host my Vegas immersion at Sapphire, and all the guys at the Rhino. I love all of you. You guys are terrific. I know there's some battles, some beefs going on between the strip clubs.
The strip club wars.
The strip club wars. I just want to be welcome. I want to be welcome at all of them, including Chicos Bonitas, right?
Las Chicas Bonitas.
Little darlings.
We already won.
Shout out to Kings of Hustler.
Thank you guys for coming out here. Let's real quick before we go. What did you think of the show?
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Bex, for inviting me. And oh my God, what an honor. I loved it. And the topics, oh my God. It's as a person who's about to be 35, like it's every topic that I just learned in life. So it's like if you're in the 20s, like you need to be hearing this. It'll put you on game ahead of time.
Beautiful. What do you think of the show?
Honestly, it's my first time even being in a podcast. So I want to say thank you first. Secondly, I learned a lot. And even though I didn't talk as much, there's a lot that I wanted to say, but just didn't know how.
Well, next time, just interrupt. The answer is to interrupt.
Interrupt.
Well, but I was taking everything in. And then,
awesome.
Everything was real.
Jake, what do you think?
Honestly, you have single-handedly converted me to the whole women can be friends.
Yes.
I've had so many women become my friends this year just being here in Vegas, and it works wonders.
And it just sucks when they
Best
all
wing
try to sleep
women.
with you, doesn't it?
Yes.
They just objectify the shit out of
God,
you.
if you only knew the story.
Just use
God,
me
bro,
for
it's crazy.
That's fine.
I wish I had not discovered this. All right, Lola, what do you think?
I always love coming on this show. I was really happy to see that Bex was coming. But yeah, always good time. Always learn something new.
All right, well, we want to see your podcast. That's what I want to see. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me back. I just always enjoy having the diversity in conversation and having discussions that I otherwise wouldn't have.
They're in the comments. They're all trying to date you. They're all trying to see like they're
Set
all
you
just
up.
like
No.
I want this one right here. It's pretty wild. Alvaro, you have a good time?
I was coming a little worried about for my English.
Yeah.
I was really good time and share with beautiful people and.
I grew up Colombian, and you don't even sound like you have an accent to me. You sound totally normal.
The less English, the better.
Can't talk back, isn't that right, Beck?
I like when men not know what I'm saying.
Bex,
Body language.
Bex, when are you going to come take my job? Because I think that's the. What do you think of the show?
This would be the first of many, baby. It's all
Okay, good. We definitely want you back. I definitely think you have a different point of view.
I also need some training, so we'll talk later.
There we go. There is no one.
He's blushing. He's
The
blushing.
jig is up.
Yo puedo hablar en español contigo, no te preocupes.
No.
Estoy llena de sorpresas, mi amor.
He's nervous.
The only training Bex is going to get from you is how to gaslight people.
And here I was worried I was going to have
I'm
to
gonna be in the
translate.
best shape for my birthday. Just wait, bitches.
Incredible. What do you think of the show?
I thought it was amazing. This is my first time ever, and I've always wanted to experience this type of vibe. And I love topics. I love talking about anything and everything. So this was awesome. I mean, there was a lot of things I would love to say, but
Well, come back.
Come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come back. 2 weeks, we're doing another show. We're doing another show. We moved the show to Wednesdays just because I think Thursdays a lot more people are working.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. So one more time, I just want to let you guys know, none of us are at Coachella right now.
Yes.
Sorry to let you know. Sorry, I know it's disappointing. It's like some of us, because if you are at Coachella, make sure you let everyone know you're at Coachella, guys. Make sure you post that you're, because
no one else will know.
Because no one will know you're at Coachella. So make sure you tell everybody that you're there. Make sure. Be different from everyone else and tell everyone you're at Coachella, because we had no fucking clue that you were there. Yeah. So incredible. Anyway.
And when he's at EDC, it'll be nothing but IG posts from EDC.
But it's EDC. Like, they got better artists. I listen to dubstep. Sorry. So sue me. Huh? Yeah. Are you dubstep girl? Hey, you know what? This is completely off topic, but I do want to say something. As somebody who's Clark County's #1 dubstep fan in the whole fucking world, I just went to see Flux Pavilion 2 weeks ago.
Oh my
God! Listen, I'm gonna something. I want to shout out Wayne Crane and the people over at Win Nightlife. They signed Excision and Subtronics and King Sullivan, and they've got Deadmau5, and they have a DJ Diesel. So it used to be back in the day, Rehab over at Hard Rock, they used to be like the dubstep capital for the city. Now it is the Win. So if you guys are really into bass music, jungle, drum and bass, dubstep, or trap, you check out some of these artists at the Win. And then additionally, the best set I've seen ever, and I never miss them, is Illenium at Zouk. Incredible. Illenium does the best bass drops. Also, Griffin does it as well. So it's just kind of like different nightlife groups have kind of a different vibe. But if you like that, then I would highly recommend. Also, if you like trap music, Metro Boomin over at Live is really, really good as well. And there's several awesome artists that play, like DJ Pauly D, he'll play a bunch of trap music. All the guys from the Tao group, also, they have a bunch of good DJs that are like that. But if you specifically like dubstep, I highly recommend you guys check out the lineup. The lineup this year at the Win. I will not miss a single one. Every single time Subtronics or Excision is playing, I'm going to be there. Start the mosh pit.
I gotta show you my tattoo then.
Okay, I'll see it here in a little bit.
Okay.
I got a tattoo on my butt that says Joel Zimmerman.
I have Subtronics and Level Up tattoo.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Got it.
Awesome.
So I gotta show you. Oh my God.
Awesome. Well, anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you once again. If you guys want to join us at the Bunny Ball in San Diego this Saturday, please come up and say hi. You're always welcome. You don't have to be a member of Men of Action to come to our events. You do. No. If you are a member of Action, you get your own table. But you don't have to be a member to come help us spread the word and help us support different charities. We're doing it for a bunch of orphanages and underprivileged children so that they can have some stuffed animals for Easter. And we're going to be doing that on Saturday. So make sure you guys come out and do that. And hopefully you ladies will come back again. We'd love to have you all come back again. We're just trying to have an open dialogue. We're not trying to blame anyone. But again, we cannot admit we have a problem. Or we cannot solve the problem until we admit we have a problem. And just remember, if he has sex with a condom, it's not cheating. Good night, guys. Take care. See you guys in 2 weeks.